horses for courses. I love doing things on the fly. All right, guys, welcome to episode 96. It is the Happy Hour, Wine for the People show, the only show left on the internet where we don't take ourselves as seriously as the wines, and it's probably arguable if we take wine that seriously at all sometimes. But tonight we have an absolutely amazing guest. In fact, you guys, for those that have been chiming in quite regularly for quite some time, you guys have actually encountered these wines before about 60 episodes ago when Katie Spain decided to surprise us with an amazing new producer. And surprise as she did, because to be honest, there are a few producers that, hey, look, we're taking the time to actually say this person needs to come on the show. We've actually tried the wine and actually been literally blown away. We're not making it up. We love any reds that are just fun and playful and really easy to drink. Bless you, Noel. That's incredible.
You did that well.
Guys, I'm talking about Uffe.
COVID trained.
From Deichmann, Uffe Deichmann from Poppelvej. Mate.
Not from Norway.
Not from Norway. We literally, okay, you guys know I do a lot of research before the show about each and every one of our guests, and there is literally 3 articles that actually say that Uffe here is actually from Norway. Not from Norway.
Never been.
Never. That is incredible, because I have no idea how a journalist wouldn't be able to do their research. And now, one person, it's like a Chinese whispers game. One person has literally just, spread it out, and now I've been suckered. I've got a whole bunch of questions prepared for this wonderous non-Norwegian.
Nothing against Norway.
Nothing against Norway, but
really,
he's just not there.
They speak weird.
Well, guys, we're episode 96, and we were discussing in the office today, what should we do for episode 100? I know you guys have absolutely been with us for quite some time along the way, having a lot of fun. I'd love to know, first and foremost, what should we be doing for our 100th episode? And secondly, probably most importantly, it's Wednesday, it's hump day. What are you drinking? What are you drinking at home tonight? That is very important, because I just want to know, I'm just curious about you and him. Anyway, speaking of which, we've got I love it when we have so much, we very rarely have so much wine on deck at the moment. And this is going to be fun, yes, fuck yeah it is. All right, so let's get some wine into glasses straight off.
Let's do it.
Let's start with wine. We're going to do a wine type interview thing. So, Uffe.
Yep.
You're Dane.
I am Danish. Very Danish.
Yeah, you're very Danish.
Yep.
So, what the fuck are you doing in Australia, man?
Making this.
Booze.
The thing is that Denmark is not really, really, really good for making a whole lot of wine. They try.
Yeah.
And nothing against my Danish colleagues.
But you try.
But you're still trying, trust me. So, yeah, Australia was always on my map. I always liked Australian wines, always really enjoyed Australian wines, and always thought there was a lot more to Australia than what I actually saw in Denmark. So, yeah, I went down here, had a look, now we.
So what got you into the concept, obviously,
Just mentioned, this is Viognier, 9 weeks on skins, from the hills.
9?
So Viognier, so just to go back to this, last episode Monday, I think he talked about Viognier, was absolutely fucked in Australia. So in your face, I hope this.
I'm yet to comment on the wine.
Yeah, I know. You might hate it. But
no, immediately straight off the bat, this is just, it's fun, bright, and sprightly. It's not, and this is the cool thing, and this is, I think a lot of people will draw lines of parallel constantly. Viognier, Condrieu, Pinot, Burgundy. It's the wrong thing to do in this country. This doesn't remind me of Condrieu at all, and that's a good thing, because it also doesn't remind me of a lot of these sort of just one-dimensional Viogniers we typically see in Australia. That's basically all oil, a little bit of lemon, and nothing else. This smells incredible. This smells awesome.
I'm muted. This smells and tastes like a perfectly ripe apricot. It's just the perfect apricot.
that was the
You've nailed it.
Holy shit, man.
Yeah, so this was one of our kind of rules wine. So we had we got this fruit in from out of the hills. We foot stomped it 9 times, and then we got it into a big vat, and we just let it sit for 9 weeks, and then we put it into a barrel, and only 9 times were to be botanized, so 999. Nice. Bottle it, and it's gonna be 666 bottles. So
seriously? That's so dope.
That's sick ass. So
cool.
999 upside down 6. Okay, love it.
Well, yeah,
There's something about this one that's really interesting. You know when you bite into an apricot, not as like so incredibly ripe. Like this is literally like a really ripe apricot. Because quite often when you see Viognier, it's either like it's really underripe or really overripe.
Yeah,
This is
true.
like,
True.
But
Both of them are very uncomfortable, actually.
you're right. They're very
You want that
uncomfortable.
middle part where it's just...
But this has that thing, and maybe it's just an association because the flavour is so exactly like that. But when you bite into an apricot and you have that sort of stringy crunchiness, when you're biting through it and there's a texture to an apricot, you actually have that in this. There's like an electric texture to this wine. It's not even a high acid wine. It's actually pretty moderate. It's very it's very easy to drink. Brendan, can you get Uffe to tell the story behind the Poppelvej name and the story behind the tattoo on his arm? Thanks. It's coming from Katie Spain.
Hi, Katie. So, Poppelvej, I know it's like when I first came down here, I pretty quickly realized. So, back to the whole start. I first came to Australia in 2012. So I have a background working with wine in managing wine stores.
So that's how you fell in love with wine. That's how like
I went to US to Sonoma County when I was 21, so back in 2008. And I went working vintage for Stulmøller Vineyards, which has a Danish winemaker called Leo Sting. Absolutely fantastic winemaker. After 2 months, I got arrested for drunk driving. Went to jail, 16 hours in detention, and got out, and I was sold. I was like, fuck yeah, I'm gonna do winemaking. This is cool. So went back home, and I was like, fuck yeah, that's cool. And my brother at the same time, which is Jens, also a weird name, Jens Stanley. He's the other half of this company.
Was this the Daniels Vine?
Yeah, exactly. That's our import company in Denmark.
Cool.
Yeah, so we import our own stuff in Denmark. He's part of that, and then he comes down every vintage and help out with the whole thing. So yeah, cool. Really, brothers knobs.
That's brilliant.
So came home, and he was working. He was managing a wine store at the same time. So, and I didn't really want, I didn't know what to do really. I fell in love with the wine thing, and he took me on, and I started working for him, and he presented me. Like I remember the first time, I really was like, fuck, this wine is epic. Like he had this bottle of Heavy 2000, and I was like, along with the pizza, after a whole day of drinking beers, I was like, holy shit, this is the shit, I gotta do this for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
So I just went into it. Not with the winemaking bad. I've been to US and it was fine, it was really fun, but I love wine, so I just wanted to taste as much as I could, as quick as I could. I didn't have any money, so we just started working in this wine store, and there we go. That was a good excuse to just drink a lot of wine.
I've got a feeling that to make like badass decisions, it must just be so easy for you. It seems so easy. Like, you know, I'm just gonna go to America, gonna make some wine.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Get thrown in jail. Logical conclusion. Make
Thrown
some wine.
Scariest thing was, like another side story, I went back to US last year for the first time afterwards because we export to America right now.
Yeah.
That was scary because I really didn't know if they were just going to
shit.
like, yeah, you're never going to see the sun again.
Oh my god.
And they did
Really
take me
have it
away.
out for the Danes, man.
Yeah. They only took my luggage and hold me up for 2 hours. And
Seriously? Yeah. So they actually have like that sort of record. You had a DUI and
10 years ago at that point, and
and it hangs with.
Yeah, they took my fingerprint, and I was standing right there, and
I went,
this guy was looking at me. He was like,
bend over.
No, at the beginning, I was like, he was just asking me, have you ever been arrested? And I could hear myself, no. And then he was just like, are you sure? No. But I got in, and it was all good, and that's all fine. I've never done DUI before or anything, and I don't recommend it.
Yeah.
We actually have a designated driver here tonight.
Yeah.
He's doubly cautious.
To tell the whole story, I was actually just parking a car from one spot to another, and then of course there's police cars.
Oh,
rough.
Damn.
Rough.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Just goes to show.
Yep. So it is.
So Poppelvej.
So Poppelvej. So we went that whole time, like me and my brother, like selling wine, everything, being in the same industry and all that. And I got the opportunity in 2012 to come to Australia. Always wanted to go to Australia. And got the opportunity because we were selling a lot of Yalumba wines. So I got the opportunity to come down and do vintage for Yalumba. And because they said, oh, come down if you're interested, come down.
Explains the Beyond You thing too.
Yeah, this tastes exactly like Yalumba.
Improved.
So I did. I went down. And I actually did, because at that point I was managing a wine store, the same one my brother was managing, but he was not there anymore. So I actually signed a contract saying that I would come back. So my boss, the owner of the store, like, he actually paid for the trip down here and a bit of money to be down here and everything. So I went down here for 6 months, and then of course 3 weeks before I went home, I should have went home. I went on a road trip to, of all places, Canberra, with some friends, and went to a festival called Ruben the Moon. And
Oh yeah.
Ruben the Moon. Yeah. Awesome.
yeah, cool place, really cool place. Went down and yeah, drunk and had fun and did mosh pit and bleeding lips and everything, and then I picked up my now wife.
That's a pretty good meeting.
And I was kind of like, all right, what do I do? Do I stay or do I go home?
Yeah, right.
I got 3 weeks, and we saw each other a bit again and again, and yeah, at some point I bought a ticket to Adelaide, and I had one from Melbourne to. I was in Melbourne at that point.
Yeah.
I went back to Copenhagen, so I was just sitting in the airport with those 2 tickets, and I was like,
Oh wow.
I feel like this is kind of like one of those life decisions that's gonna change your life.
But but not for you. You make badass decisions easy, don't you? You're like, yeah, straight away. It's like, fuck it, don't worry about home. I'm home now.
That's not easy. But I went to Adelaide.
Yep.
And at the same time.
So wait, because your other half's from Adelaide?
No, she's from Canberra.
She's from Canberra.
Yeah. But the only way I kind of like, it made sense I stayed down here was if I went back to Adelaide and started working, because Yolanda had said to me, anytime you want to come back, you can come back and work. So I needed to work to be down here.
So just like,
yeah, clear.
Because some people often say that as an expression. Did you literally rock up and you're like, hey, so you said anytime you can come back and work, and they were just like, sure, okay, yeah, we did say that. We definitely did say that. That's totally true. Okay, we'll find a spot for. Is that literally how it was?
No, it was fun. So it was coming up to so I went up to them and said, so would you, like you said, I could come back, and they were like, yeah. As soon as we start going into vintage again, like early on, we can have you back. And I was like, that's cool, that's good for me. So I went to a mate's place up in in Barossa. And at that point, I was staying there, and of course I had to look for a job in between like vintage and stuff like that, because vintage is pretty much just finished. So I found out that I could come to Snowy Mountains and work at a hotel, and because I did a lot of, like, of course, from Denmark, snowboarder shit.
Yeah.
So I could just, and it was close to Canberra, so I could just go there.
Oh, perfect.
Off season.
Dream.
Go there, snowboard, see my girlfriend, and whenever vintage came along, I could come back to Barossa and work for Yolanda. That was good. That was really good.
Is it a better life than we are?
Yeah.
Jesus.
I've got some ideas now. That's sick.
It was fun, but it's also like you didn't really know where you were going and everything, and all your friends and family back home was like, "What exactly are you doing?" It was a bit on. But then I came back to Barossa and I started like venturing out a bit more, like going on McLaren, Adelaide and everything. I tasted a lot of wine, a lot of, like, I was really into it, and I was really like, holy shit, like all this wine that we're actually tasting. Why can't we see that in Denmark? So me and my brother started the Daniel Wine.
Yeah, right, okay. Yeah, right. What year was this? Like how far long ago are we talking
2012, I was the first year down, like when I first came to Australia. So this is 2013. 2013.
Yeah, right.
So this is Dead Ohio Sky. This is our straight Mourvedre rosé.
It's called what? Dead Ohio Sky.
Yeah,
right.
So the first one is only shallow. This is Dead Ohio Sky.
Wow. It's like a spicy apricot.
Yeah, so this is zero time on skin. Just press.
Oh, wow.
Press directly into concrete egg, non-blue concrete egg.
Well, first and foremost, I want to ask you about that egg, because for those playing at home, that's what they look like.
Yeah, they're usually not wrapped like that.
They're not wrapped. Well, this is obviously when they rocked up, right? That's when they rocked up.
Yeah.
So these black eggs, what are they?
They are non-blue concrete eggs. So they are eggs made out of Loire gravel, which is very important.
Oh wow,
It's pretty nuts.
that's insane.
So if you do that in Australia, you need a mining license.
Yep.
But what's the point of these crazy egg-shaped things? Like, what's the?
So the whole point is to us. So of course, when we first ordered them, we were kind of like into the whole amphora thing, but not like we thought we'd take it further, and we drank a lot of heavy wine, stuff like that, that had been in concrete. And I liked what concrete did to wine. So
Yeah.
me and my brother was talking, and we were like, we should try these eggs out. Also because we really,
How do you like them eggs?
all our wines, they are on lease, like full lease. We don't rack or anything for the first at least 3 months.
Full leads.
Full lease.
As in
gross lease and everything.
primary fermentation, you're just like, go on a barley, leave it alone.
So we stirred, we patronize a lot of our red wines as well. So that was why we thought, this is genius with the egg shape. Like you actually have a container that have a continuously like circle going around. There's a continuous stream inside. So you have the leaves stirred pretty much all the time, which really works. And they still breathe. They actually still breathe. Not as much as a barrel does, but way more than a steel tank does. So you actually have so that's the reason why we thought we would go with these, and there we go. This is straight from it.
How do you move them? They're made of concrete. It must be fucking heavy.
They're really heavy, and especially they have a forklift can only lift like 1.8 tons.
Wow.
Does the forklift start to...
When they're full, we can't move them at all. Not at all. Not even.
Yeah,
close.
so
I think they weigh 1.2 tons.
So you basically, they're a one and done sort of deal.
Yeah. When you fill them, you gotta be sure they're gonna stay there.
Wow.
That's not.
Wow. Like I've played around with eggs before, like once or twice. And I've like just completely sort of odd vessel for me. I'm just trying to wrap my head around it. Have you seen it done like a wooden egg?
I've seen that.
Like, do you reckon it's just wank? It's just wank?
A little bit.
Yeah.
I wouldn't buy a wooden one.
It's really expensive too.
Yeah, it's a bit ridiculous, but.
Well, James Hamilton's trying to go, you brother.
James.
Hey James, what's up? And we've got Hey Team, you go, Ruth, Ola, Kerry Carter, Chow. Great to see you guys today. And what a meeting of minds with you guys, and Uffe from Max Mason as well.
Oh, right.
Max, great to see you today as well. Thanks so much for jumping on into the place and jumping on the stream. So
back to the name.
we're still for those that are wondering back at home exactly what it looks like. That's literally that's the logo, isn't it?
That's it.
And
that is actually the sign. Like it's a street sign. If you see there's two holes in it, that used to be on the street that I grew up on. So that sign. So again, back to the story.
So is that like as kids we used to like go like if we would go on like big road trips and you'd find like a really remote sign, you'd just kind of like grab an angle grinder, knock it off, and then hang it on your wall as like a trophy. And then you realised it was actually a real pain in the ass for people to try to like fix it. You felt really bad, but you're still pretty proud of it.
Exactly the same.
Yeah.
It is. So again, back to the whole thing. So I live down here. I did my stuff in Snowy Mountains and went back to Yolanda. Then I went with my girlfriend Nicole. We were getting very serious, so we went. I would like to go back to Denmark a bit because I felt like I haven't really finished things and everything. I would like to go back to just see. So we did. We moved back to Copenhagen where I had an apartment. So we lived there for 2 years and finally figured out that that's not our show. We need to be
How's her
somewhere
Danish?
else.
It's pretty good.
My Danish.
No, hers.
She understands most things, but
Yeah, right.
I can still swear at her, and she's not really know what I say. She's pretty good. Like she is good. She understands most things.
She is.
But, if I talk fast, she doesn't really get it.
So Katie's really pressing a point here. I think there's a story behind that sign.
Yeah. So we moved back, and then we realized and decided that we were going to come back here.
Yeah.
So we sat at my parents' place, which is on Poppelvej. So Poppelvej is a little street in Hundested where I come from, which is a city 45 minutes north of Copenhagen. We were sitting up there, me and my brother and my wife Nicole and my dad, and we were drinking good wines and everything, and we were getting pretty. We were talking about the whole purpose of us going back. Like I wanted to move to McLaren because I was close to the hills. I love the hills and I love the water and everything. So I just thought that would be the coolest place to make wine. Yeah. So we just brainstorming what to call, like when we're going to start this, what to call it, and there was all these. I mean, my name's fucked up anyway. It's English. Uffe. It's just nobody can pronounce that. So we just so what to call it? And we were just talking, me and my brother brainstorming, and then Nicole all of a sudden just said, "We should call it Poppelvej." And my dad was like, "Yeah,
of course it was." Of course.
My brother and I was like, well, that's pretty weird. Nobody can pronounce that. And she's like, yeah, but people are gonna like it has a deeper meaning to you guys, and it's like it shows that it's Danish, it's Scandinavian. It's something that comes from outside of Australia. It's in Australia.
So I assume between making that call and stealing the street sign, there was probably an ample amount of booze being consumed.
Oh, shit, yeah. So we drank for another 3 hours, about, and then we really agreed on the name, and then went down. And this sign has been there for like God knows how long, like really long. So we started fucking screwing and everything, and this thing, and it wouldn't go off, and we were just like,
WD-40, mate. You know.
Nah,
that's all you need.
I need gravity because my brother, he's a little bigger than me. Like he's probably like almost 2 meters tall, and so he just hung himself, and it just came like bam. So we took it home, and we took it down here, and that was our sign because. And the whole story is that I grew up in that house. My father bought that house, grew up in it. My grandparents built that house. And it was my great-grandfather that bought the property for fishing nets back when there was no...
And is your brother living in it now?
No. He lives far away from it. My parents still live in it.
Okay.
So yeah, we stole it. But afterwards, there was a complaint, and we were like, people took it to the police.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah, but now they have a nice, fine, new blue printed Poppelvej sign. So yeah, but
and then you're not allowed back in Denmark.
No, American Denmark is pretty.
Yeah,
I'm getting a bit.
Seriously, so what happened with it? Like they reported to the police and then what? Well, whilst you were there?
No. We were.
They took their time.
I heard it later. I didn't even know of it. It was like a few years later. I heard that they actually there was some people on the street that actually took it to the police and were not happy about it because it was an original sign and everything.
Okay.
But then when they figure out, because there was a little wine shop opening up in Hundested where I come from. They started selling our wines, and people started, and there was a big article written up about us, and then people were like, so like that looks like the. And then people were like, you know what? That's a pretty good course. So it was not just hanging on some teenager's wall. So yeah.
Well, Nicole Deichmann, which I gather is your lovely.
That's my wife. Yeah.
That stolen song was the best drunk marketing decision ever made. I wholeheartedly agree with you. Oh, that is so cool. And Annika Berlingieri?
Yeah, Berlingieri.
Forgive me, my Italian, I'm assuming. Uffe.
Yeah, she doesn't know how to say my name either.
I'm gathering that's a childhood name. I want to know from you though, what makes Australian wine stand out? And I don't disrespect for saying an outsider's perspective, but quite often as Australians, we will often learn more about the people that have been so widely travelled and come here to teach us what we actually have and take for granted.
Yep.
What for you makes Australian wine stand head and shoulders above the rest and makes you, aside from the evident love that you have of the country and your family?
Yep. I think that Australia is at a point at the moment where they're just, that whole new wave of wine is just like ever since like maybe the last 15 years, 10 years even, maybe just been like shoveling in. We have so many great new wine producers coming out, and there's been such a long tradition of like very traditional wine, big wines, dress, everything. At the moment what's going on, and ever since I got here, it's just that there's so much great wine, so many like people experimenting with wine, with different stuff and everything. It's a bit what I saw in Sonoma when I was back there. Like they had, in Sonoma there was so much experimental wine going on. And when you went just across like to Napa, it was just Cabernet, that's it. And it was just a traditional Cabernet and everything.
Zinfandel.
All of Australia is just almost coming together and
it's crazy, isn't it?
Lifting. Everybody's just doing fucking epic shit and like,
it's pretty nuts. Like
we wanted to be a part of that.
When we started sending a bit of Unico across to the States, we were actually quite surprised that the whole concept of like natural wine and stuff like that was such a foreign concept. And then, but this is the thing about the States, when something hits, wine flies everywhere. It's like,
it takes off.
I remember we went to LA once and you know the lion scooters, the birds? Birds. It's like, oh, they just discovered it in LA. We went back 3 months later and it was just like mayhem. It was just like thousands of these things just littered the side of the street. They really get behind things really quickly. And it's
they're pushing.
Trying to describe to people where the Australian wine scene sits in terms of, and it's for want of a better way of describing it, let's call it the natural wine movement. is so progressive here that trying to say to someone that hey, you can go down to the vast majority of high quality restaurants, and you're going to struggle to see names that you might think are familiar to the Australian wine drinker. Names like Wolfglass, Rosemount, Yalumba, and it was an article that was raised by Hugh and Hook, amazing journalist based in Sydney, about how we don't have Rosemount, we don't have Lindemann, we don't have all these things over and over again, but we do have a Coat of Barrels, Lucy Margot, we do have
Casello.
We do have all these other new brands that literally don't have the power and the money and the brand presence. It's because this movement's been going for 10 years. Yep. This movement's been going for so long. It's actually incredible. And
it's supported. Like, it's really, everybody is like in on it.
What the fuck is this?
So this is Pinot Meunier. Nice. From right around here, actually. It's not far away.
That's incredible.
So again, it's good fun. Like, all the wines, these wines, it's pretty much like a whole bunch, like the reds.
All right. Sorry. Hold you right there, because there is a little button here. For those that are the uninitiated, let's get a little bit basic. Whole bunch. The fuck does whole bunch mean?
It's a whole bunch. So we go out, we handpick the grapes, take them back to our winery, and then we just foot stump them. Bam. We just jump in and foot stump. We don't like crush anything. It's either whole berry or a whole bunch. And all these three, a whole bunch. Jump in, foot stump them. Doesn't like do the shit out of them. We like it a little bit then.
No, just break up some juice.
It's not Cabernet maceration, but we get a little bit of that going. And then we leave it. And then we jump in twice a day, pretty much. Taste it every day, of course, if it needs it. If it needs it, if it doesn't, it doesn't. We rarely actually take out the, I can't even remember what you call it.
Plunger, yeah.
There you go.
Well acquainted here.
I'm a winemaker.
That long thing you stick down the grade. So yeah, whole bunch. That's the way we kind of like our, especially these earlier releases.
Because this is incredible. Like this reminds me actually of really well structured Pinot, like really incredibly well structured old world Pinot.
We make a Pinot in the same
style,
same style, but it gets released a little bit later, so that stays 10 months.
Oh, okay.
Neutral.
That's incredible.
All neutral.
That's wicked fun. That's like I want to have this with something really like a cacio e pepe, something really peppery. Something really sort of lifted and spicy. I want to have this in the esky on a boat. That's what I want.
Drink it. Yeah, exactly.
Put it in beer bottles like stubbies.
We thought about that. I think we thought cans
money. That's the thing.
All down to money.
Well, Katie's trying to go. How important is the music by the likes of Tool in the background in the development of your wines?
It probably means like everything. I do believe that 2020 is one of our best vintages, only because Tool released an album. It's been on repeat down there, and we just they like listening to it, and I like listening to it, so yeah, it works. No, we do. We love Tool. We do love Tool. We definitely listen to other things than Tool, but Tool is a big thing for us, definitely. Both me and my brother, big fans on Tool, and that's also why we have a wine named after it. So yeah, Tool is a big. We love Tool. Love their music.
I remember working in the Vale. Winemaker shall not be named because this could end up embarrassing him somewhat. But I chubbed, one of our cellar hands iPods on the sound system in the winery.
Yep.
And we're, one of those, because halfway through vintage in a large winery, you become a vintage zombie, right?
Yeah.
You're just doing pump overs. We actually had someone fall in once. They fell asleep at night shift. Incredible. Yeah, you have to be careful, right?
You drunk?
Yeah. Horses. Yeah. No, we started playing, and it was just like I think we're in the. You get sort of partway through vintage, and you're like, you know what, Bob Marley. It's totally the time for Bob Marley.
Yep.
And unfortunately, they didn't I just didn't know how to. It was one of those really old, creative. It wasn't like an iPod, but it was like a really old thing. Anyway, didn't really have this permanent shuffle feature on. And I went to Phil Collins.
Okay.
And I'm like, hey, Phil Collins, Horse for Courses. It's your interest. Your interest. No, my interest. But that's very interesting. Next minute, this winemaker comes running through the winery, like having a fit. Like he was just pissed off. And he runs straight up the stairs, grabs the MP3 player, pegs it, just launches it across the winery, smashes a million pieces. This poor backpacker, like, who's just lost his only MP3 player, and all this winemaker would turn around and he's like, Phil Collins, bad for wine.
Chit-chat.
And I said, to this day, I actually don't understand what qualified the statement, but apparently, hey, his wine's really tasty. Maybe that's the secret. Don't
play Phil Collins.
Don't play Phil Collins.
I can get in on that.
At Steve Pennell's winery. I mean,
What? What?
What have we got here? This is
Rookie.
Rookie.
This is our oldest wine. Well, this is brand new, but this is.
But it's like the one that you started with.
So in 2016, me and my wife went out, picked half a ton.
Grenache.
That was it. Fermented in the back, like in my garage.
Freaking awesome.
That's it. Ever since, we've made a Rookie pretty much every time. And again, like we started out early. Like when I talked to some winemakers, friends back then, they were like, "Oh, it's thin. It's not like you need to add like more structure, more color to it." I'm like, "Nah, this is the style I want to make. This is like we want that bit more."
I'll smash this. I'll smash a lot of this. Is this the one that I tried that was like blew my mind?
No.
Katie, was this the one you brought? What was the one that you brought?
So the one Katie brought, I'm pretty sure was what we call the Norwegian wood.
Yeah,
so that is actually a year where the Rookie Grenache doesn't come from this place, or it doesn't live up to our expectations.
Yeah.
Then
I gotta just qualify something. We had a conversation before the show about why evidently journalists had decided that you were from Norway. Mm. You have a wine called Norwegian Wood.
It's a Beatles song, dude.
Yeah.
We had people in Denmark that thought that had been a Norwegian wood. That was crazy.
Yeah.
Seriously? Norwegian barrel wood. They actually went out like, fuck this thing had been in Norwegian wood. We were like, no.
It's just a Beatles song, man.
It's a deeper meaning. We thought we were being artistic here, but no.
Just this is the thing about people.
I know.
Yeah.
But no, it's when it wasn't living up to. There's only been 2 Norwegian woods in our whole Poppelvej lifespan, and there probably, hopefully, never going to be any again. So Norwegian wood is second wine to this.
Ah, right.
Whenever we can make this, because of various reasons, we make a Norwegian wood. But Rookie is the one. Right.
So this is what you're gunning for because it's delicious. Yeah. Like that is so far. Oddly enough, the things that are like jumping out of me that are making me just vibe hardcore. Is this in your Viognier? I really like that. That is awesome. That's like incredible. That is what I believe to be the best Viognier in the country.
Top 5. Top 5.
Easily top 5. But I'm struggling to the way that's looking right now.
It's delicious.
That is crunchy as fuck. That is so much fun.
And I brought this. Now we can't even say there's 666 bottles anymore. It's
665. How unexciting. Sorry, Satan.
That's absolutely incredible. So you're known as the pint-sized winery.
Yeah, that was a while back, I think.
Yeah, but I noticed you were at 30 tons, gunning towards 50 tons.
We did 40 this year.
Nice.
We were meant to do 50.
That's like a what will be deemed in Australia from an artisan perspective, like a decent amount of growth. Like it's good. It's actually good to see because quite often, I mean, you've encountered in Australia this concept of tall poppy syndrome.
Yeah.
Where it's like if you grow a little bit too much, you're a sellout, and we won't support you at all.
Yeah.
But it's actually good to see because I would want to see a hell of a lot more of these wines actually out in the world, and like 40 tons actually not a lot of wine. It's still tiny.
And look, we don't make 40 tons of this. Like we have, and my brother's a bit like, oh, hold your horses because.
And you're like, nah, send it. Just like, yeah, do it.
I think we're up to 21 different wines, so I love making these small parcels, but like, I love it, and so I can't help it. Like if we get Mencía or Toreador or anything like that, I'm like, yeah, let's get it because we can do some weird shit with that.
Toreador is the absolute
So we do spread them out, but we were meant to do 50 tons this year, but like we were lucky to do 40 tons.
That's a pretty good a pretty good return.
So lucky that way. But hopefully next year we would hit the 50 mark. Maybe a bit more. We'll see. My brother would probably say 80 tons, but I'm gonna be
Well, you brought a blind tasting wine. Thank you so much.
I did.
And I'm very excited to see
You
what's
gotta have to try the last one.
We are definitely going to try the last one.
Can you just chug us the corkscrew over there, Uffe?
Yeah, man.
Oh!
Catch.
With all the expensive equipment around.
All
This
right,
is
so we've
straight Mourvedre, and it's
Oh,
actually
okay.
vinifera, like
Sick.
it's harvested the same time as the rosé was.
So that was, remind me, that was Syrah Mourvedre?
Straight away.
Straight
Sorry,
Mourvedre.
Mourvedre. That was
This is-
just fresh straight away.
Yeah. So this is called Tsunami spillover, which is a big. This is all 2020, so
Damn.
all COVID.
Oh no.
Bottle of COVID vintage 19. 20. Vintage 20. That's like, so Mourvedre, Mataro, Monastrell, you know, all the different synonyms. I've always found that in Australia that it's incredibly herbaceous.
Yes.
Like,
I agree.
incredibly herbaceous.
I agree.
And it's not something that I actually particularly adore, but there are people out there that are like Mataro mad.
Yeah.
That are just absolute fiends for Mataro, and they're like, oh man, I'm looking forward to making a Mataro this year, and I'm like, why?
I know.
And that's the thing that I struggle with. But that there is not like what I know to be like Australian Mataro, like reductive and stuff like that. That is candied and lifted and fun.
Exactly.
This reminds me of that Norwegian wood, actually.
Yeah,
This
yeah,
actually
yeah.
gives me similar
I would
vibes.
think that Mourvedre is one of those grapes that has a little bit in common with Grenache. Like it's got two faces. You can actually make it in two different ways. Like the guy I buy this from, Payaroa, he always made like Mataro and all these people buy from him the same way. And I thought, all right, well, why don't we just get it the same time as we do the rosé and make a red wine on it? Because I think that's gonna have like perfect structure and everything. So we did.
It's a dream.
Yeah, there it is.
That is killer. That's next level.
That's good fun. That's the business.
That's the business. That's the head and shoulders stand out. Man.
Yeah, that's the one.
That's well done.
Thanks,
That's
guys.
I don't know how you do that.
Yeah.
That's like really cool. That's complete. Do you reckon it's picking it earlier? Are you picking it more for a rosé to be able to land on this, you know, moderate style here?
So we were picking half. So we picked half for the rosé and half for the straight Tsunami spillover. But the thing is that after the first press of this, the press went like it just shut itself, just went cacti, bam, it just stopped. We had no idea what went wrong. So we actually only made like about 9,000 bottles of this, 900 bottles, 1,000 bottles of this. So everything went into this year, and we were like, "Fuck, that's pretty lucky because that turned out pretty good." So
Yeah.
Dude, this is the. I mean, there's a couple of stellar wines here. They're all stellar wines, but that's otherworldly, man.
It's racy. It's racy. It's chewy. It's just fun. It's just
If you smell a rose, okay,
Yeah.
and I mean like not a confected rose, and I'm not talking about the smell of rose. So a lot of people think Turkish delight. I mean like a legitimate, real rose with the green parts and like the earth and the, you know, you've got the whole array of it. Like it is quite an amazingly well pieced together wine. That's incredible.
big fan.
We're jumping on some blind tasting.
let's do it. Let's do it.
All right, so
This is mine?
of
This is
course,
yours. Yeah, this is yours.
Everyone loves a bit of graphic. We're jumping on blind tastings, people. All right, so ooh. You know, this smells so much like bacon, like smoked baked beans.
That's not a bad thing.
I've been like starving myself recently, trying to lose some of the ISO pounds, and so everything smells like delicious fucking food. And like, seriously, I'm like, man,
It's not bacon.
It's not bacon. It's like, don't worry about it. It's fine anyway. Wow,
Shit.
that's phenomenal. And that is not what I expected on the palate. That's going to really trip me up. That's really going to trip me up.
Good.
It's always the goal.
Don't you know why? Because it's like quite often the way that we determine like the first question, especially with black glasses, is this red or white? This is actually really tough to do because it smells like a red, but there's just no tannin to it. It is just supple, so supple. There's very minimal tannin, and it feels like a white wine, but it's got this sort of like mid-palate weight, this oiliness that kind of makes you kind of go, true. It's red. It's red.
This is a red wine. Yep.
Wow. Baked bean wine. It's
A new
incredible.
category.
The smell is incredible. It's smoky. It's like a really amazing whole bunch Syrah. Like this is like Hervé Sauveau, man. This is like some cool declassified. Man, if this come from Australia, I'm stoked. I'm fucking stoked.
Rookie 18.
Yeah.
Good.
Because like to turn something as interesting and thrilling as this is a wow. Oh man, now it's like fucking rosemary and shit.
Yeah.
Is this an aromatized wine?
Not
Is this
going on,
is
isn't
this 100% wine? Because it is like as in it's not aromatized. This isn't like a vermouth or anything.
No.
Wow.
Not at all.
Wow, because like it's like you grab rosemary fresh straight up and you're literally like, you know.
Yeah. You can inhale a leg of lamb with this.
Fuck, this is so cool. All right, Noah, are you running options this evening?
May as well. Let's do it. Is this New World or Old World?
I think this is New World.
So yeah, this is Old World.
Wow. I was gonna say this is like really well made. New World. No, it's just Old World. It's just tasty.
No, it's just really good wine.
Oh wow, this is just phenomenal, man.
This is
like Rhone done very well.
Do you want to take options? Just run it from here.
Have you played options before?
I have played options. I can do that.
Yeah, do it.
So 3 countries in the Old World.
Well, I'm not going to go Denmark. That would have been fun, wouldn't it?
No, I don't think it's from Denmark. That would be easy.
No. So,
okay. All right.
is this Italian? Is this Austrian? Or is this French?
I think it's French.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. The region?
Yeah.
All right. Is this Carol? Is this Rome? Or is this Loire?
It's Cahors.
No.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Could have been a tiny Malbec.
It's wrong.
It's so the options were Loire, Rhone, or Cahors.
Yeah.
And it's Rhone.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's what my gut was.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it?
Go with the gut, mate. Go with the gut.
This really cool whole bunchy Syrah. Is it Hervé Sauveau? Have I actually gotten that close?
Do you want a grape variety?
I want a grape variety.
Okay, is this... So it is a blend.
Yep.
But it's 80-20.
Okay.
75-25.
Sorry.
As the numbers suggest. Sorry to be a sorry to be a pedantic dick.
With wine and normally
This is incredible.
Yeah.
it's
I'm
just
fucking
it's 80-20.
into
But
this.
but is it Syrah? So we're talking dominant grape variety. Is
Yes,
it Syrah? Or is it Grenache?
Yeah.
Or is it Cognac?
Oh, I think I'm gonna go Syrah. Seriously? Seriously?
You haven't hit a. You've been all across. You've been off this.
No. Well,
nowhere near.
Well, it's because I'm distracted by the baked beans.
80 or 75.
80%, 75%.
Grenache.
Yeah, right. It's so stemmy without being stemmy. Like
One
it's,
of my favorite.
this
wines
is
that
such a
I
good
make.
Yeah.
and what's out of curiosity? What's the other 25%?
Syrah.
Okay.
Syrah. Yeah. It's a female winemaker. She's absolutely doing a fantastic job. Like, I
Yeah,
love this
right.
wine. Absolutely love the wine.
$35 a bottle too, which is just like
Jesus.
This
Really
is fun.
good.
And this is in Australia.
this is in Australia. Yeah. Like a retail, you can get this off Different Drop right now for $35.
Everyone should buy a case of this.
Yeah, buy shitloads.
Everyone should buy a case
But
of this.
usually
No,
it's sold out pretty quick. I buy a lot of it. So.
No, everyone should buy a case of this. No, seriously, because this is a mate like what can be done with Grenache and Syrah, and this is like Rhone done really well.
I know, and that's why I like to taste these things because it's
Female winemaker.
Yep.
Gramenon?
I can't remember what it's called.
I got it up.
They're very
Helene Thibon.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what I would say.
Yeah, right. Okay. What's,
Helena?
So it's like Southern Rhone.
It's something. Yeah.
It is Southern
Yeah, it's
Rhone?
good. It's Code d'Aron.
Yeah, right. Okay. What's the vintage on this? Obviously
18, I'm pretty sure.
fresh.
Yeah, it's
2018.
18.
What is the producer? I simply do not know what the producer is. Mar de Libian. Of course. Yes.
You know it.
Yeah, of course, absolutely. Obviously didn't guess the wine. That's
It's a sick wine.
that's looking really good. That's looking absolutely fantastic. That there, we're talking like that can handle some amazing dishes.
Yep.
That can handle that, and it's also gonna. It's like the Swiss Army knife of
wine.
But I didn't think that these were Rhone. I thought these were like in Languedoc. I thought Madame Olivier was.
No, she does a bit out of there.
Yeah, right. Okay, that's incredible.
Like some of her more higher price stuff is from Languedoc.
That's
And Roussillon, I think she does a bit there too as well.
I definitely would never have gotten that. Not in a million years.
Really?
No,
I mean-
not in a million years. Mate, I want to know something. I've got a really important question. In doing my research, I didn't know that you were like a massive fan of J.R.R. Tolkien. So
No,
you have a legitimate hobbit hole on your property.
we did. We don't anymore. The council came and had to. No.
wow.
It would have been.
What is that?
That is a hobbit hole. It is a hobbit hole.
Oh,
And
shit.
that's where we actually started out. We made wine in there. We fitted like that's.
That's so gnarly.
We had about 36 like barriques in there. I had to roll them out.
Seriously?
Roll them out.
How
every
did you
time.
build it?
We didn't build it. A friend of mine. It's on his property. It was not on our property.
Yeah, right. So, but what,
Yeah.
like literally, is it like you build a structure and then you put all this earth
Yeah.
over the top of it? Was that
Yeah,
how it
we
was?
had this big, massive blocks of stone, and you kind of lay in the roof, and then bam. Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic place. Absolutely fantastic.
Still exists?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, right. But you don't have your barrels in there.
No, not anymore.
It was starting to collapse.
No, it was just like having to empty them, like taking them, roll them out, and everything. My back would have been not good today. Stayed there.
That's interesting. So for obviously, you do 21 different wines.
Yeah.
21 different wines.
Yep.
What are the things so far in your journey of Australian winemaking that has just made you just your ears prick up and kind of go, I have like an affinity for this? Like, is you just love all your children, or do you absolutely there's one great variety or something like? Are you going to become the hermit on the hill making Pinot for the rest of your life, not talking to anyone?
No, definitely not. I think like stuff like Grenache, of course, really surprised me how it actually can be made in Australia. What more we can do with it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think as soon as you get into these kind of things, and you like, we have a Cabernet here. We have a Cabernet Franc here, which is made in a very different way as well. Like it's whenever I kind of grasp upon these varieties and we try to like make them our way, I find out that oh shit, we can do this and this and this with them. I mean, it's always a bit of a trial. With the Viognier, that was a bit of a trial.
So it's still like really early days for feeling out, or is there any?
But I don't think we're going to concentrate. I love the diversity of making stuff with all these things, and they're so different, all of them. I like that. I like all my children. I know this. But Viognier, I've never really been like I love Condreux and stuff like that, but I've never really been a massive fan of Viognier. There's a bit of trials to like, get this Viognier, and then we got it and we made it like a bit hardcore with skin contact.
Wait, it was a
bang,
trial
bang,
to get Viognier.
Yeah, it was just we wanted to try it because else who knows what it looks like in Australia if we do it our way, and we did.
Yeah.
And I love it. And
Utterly
we're
amazing.
definitely making like that's going to be a part of the portfolio. So then the Mourvedre, we were like, oh, everybody makes rosé out of Grenache and Pinot and Sangiovese, and we were like, well, we want to look at like Southern Rhone place and see what they're doing, and we were like, we need some stuff, and we were like, let's try this, and yeah, we did, and bam, and then we went on to this,
That's
and we were like,
fucked up.
well, why don't we make a Mourvedre out of this stuff that was harvested that early and see what that looks like, and it looks pretty good, so.
So what was that done a whole bunch as well?
Yes. And
Seriously?
Food's done, yeah.
But it doesn't even remotely taste.
Crazy.
That's just odd.
Yeah, it's
That is so
our gentle feet. The hobbit feet.
So I saw on your Instagram there was a cheeky little image of some floor growing across some Gewürztraminer.
Yep.
Talk to me about floor.
So I love floor.
What happened to that?
Like the Gewürztraminer?
Yeah.
Oh, it's still going. It's in one of our eggs. It's from one of our eggs.
Yeah, right.
Wow.
The Gewürz called Ego Friendly, still sitting there, and it's gonna come
Gewürz is called what?
Ego Friendly.
Love it.
Amazing.
Love it. Love it.
So So we have another big. This is a release of 1st of September, and we have another big release in probably going to be just before Christmas. So probably 1st of December, end of November, where our Chardonnay from Piccadilly is going to come out. That's where we use some acacia wood in it as well. Our eco-friendly, which is our skin contact Gewürztraminer. And we have a Riesling that we've done skin contact as well and whacked into oak, which is looking really, really not Riesling-ish, which is what we kind of like.
Do you reckon it's possible to bottle like a Riesling that doesn't look like Riesling and call it not Riesling?
Shit, yeah.
He's going to do it.
The name is not. It's made from Riesling. Well, it's called not Riesling.
Yeah, not Riesling. We could do that. Like we had like one of my really good friends back home, Casper, who came down here and then helped us out in vintage. Really good guy, fantastic, one of my best friends. And, like he comes down here, he's probably gonna come next year as well, helping us out. Really into wine, like really big fucking wine geek. And he was like, "Oh, we're getting Riesling. We should skin contact and then put it into an egg." And I was like, "Yeah, definitely skin contact, but that's exactly why we're not putting it into an egg. That's the recipe Riesling you want to do. We're not doing it. We want to do something else because it's already been done like 1,000 times. So let's try something else. Let's spend a little longer with the skins and then put it into a barrel and see what happens." And it looks good.
I love it.
So as we were sort of running through the winery beforehand, I did notice, and we do actually segue because we only have 8 minutes. It's time to do another blind tasting. We have a bunch of wines behind you. Grab whatever wine. We don't know which wine is what. I don't know what it is. You don't know what it is. No one might know what it is, but not after he's wrapped it up.
I'm gonna do this guy.
Ooh, yeah. We actually do have like a bit of a poll going about like, you know, who actually bothers to go all the way to the back.
Oh, really?
And it makes sense that you did.
It makes sense.
If anyone was going to do it,
you were going to do it.
Yeah. It's like, whatever.
I noticed that you're a bit of a fan of Cantillon. You even dropped the goza, the magic goza word.
Big time.
Have you ever considered doing sort of ferments outside of the realm of grapes?
I have. And at the moment, we're just in early talks with Brad Higgins, like Brad Higgins, about doing cider.
Cool.
Well, doing a cider with him, which is going to be, would be pretty cool. He just dropped some new merchandise too.
Seriously, turn around, seriously, because that's merch, man. That is the merch you want. And it's the great variety you want too. Merlot. Brash Higgins website, Brad Higgins website.
Great.
Definitely jump on.
So yeah, we are in early talk about making a cider together, which is of course not going to be your sweet shit. It's going to be very acidic.
We like it.
Yep.
We like it.
So we're going for it.
Like I have been brewing beers like here and there, but yeah, it's always just like in the hobby kind of thing because this kind of takes over.
Well, tell us, what are the producers that? Oh, forgive me. Oh wait, what's this?
Oh no, I haven't put those up yet. You've had those for the entire time, dude.
Forgive me.
There's been a lot of wine flying around. It's fair enough.
Yeah, there's bottle glass. What are the other producers you look up to? I mean, obviously Brad Higgins, I assume, is on there. What are the ones that you literally kind of go, look, these are the guys that are really pushing Australian wine. You don't need to say Unico Zilla, it's okay. But no, what are the wines that are like that are making you kind of go, actually, these are really fucking cool, really interesting, really unheard of.
So of course I'm one of those, like when I first came in here, I like had no idea, and I tasted kind of like Eau Côte barrels and been
awesome.
Oh, that is very different. That is
that
is something that I like. It talks to me more than all this commercial stuff does. And of course after that we started like tasting more people and more people, and I think some like getting into like more like Golden Child, James Hamilton, if you know him.
Well, he was on the stream before.
Oh, he was. Yeah, really good stuff. Does some really cool things. Up from Kaipo, we buy a bit of fruit from him as well. So he does some really cool things. Somos, they do some really good stuff. And if I should go into like more older people. Things that have been longer in the business. I do, not Australian, but like what really got me on to natural wines and the whole thing was like Grapefruit, of course. Like, absolutely I just tasted these wines and I was like,
Yeah,
holy
done.
shit, they
Sold
might
me.
be freaking expensive, but
They're very
holy
expensive.
shit, they're good.
Gravener's next level.
Even in Europe, they're freaking expensive. Like, but I kind of like to get in our grapes and get a feel for them, get a feel for what they look like in a vineyard, and then do what we kind of think that would suit those grapes. What are we drinking?
I don't know. I literally don't know. It's actually for us to decide, but like I am all over this.
Fuck, it's harder than the black glass, isn't it?
Seriously,
It really is. It really is.
I'm all over this. Like
Bread on butter.
bread on butter. I was trying to come up with something that wasn't offensive, like fat kid on a cupcake, but bread on butter.
Leave it to me. Yeah, leave it to me.
yeah. Political correctness is definitely not my forte, and I'm terribly sorry. That is tannic, and it smells like a decent whack of Slovenian oak.
That's
you
good.
know, there's already. Oh man, I'm getting vibes, getting chills.
I like that.
I'm into this big time. Shocking. Yeah. All right, Noah. It's red.
It's red wine. Is it New World or Old World?
I'm putting my comments down. Don't have comments. We don't know what it is. Noah sent it, so you'll know what it is, but we do not. It's Old World.
What do you reckon?
What do you reckon?
Yeah, I'm gonna say Old too.
Shit, this is good. This is really good. Are we going France, Italy, or Austria?
I want to say.
You going France? I'm going Italy.
It's Italy.
Fuck you.
You said it, not me. But I was thinking it. All right, now, what am I going to do to you for regions?
Do you want me to do the regions for you?
I kind of don't, because I know you know what it is. All right. 1 second. Here we go. Let me just do a little bit of background research just to see how much I can get you off the path.
Can I still guess?
Yeah, absolutely. Alrighty, are we going to go Veneto,
Cool. Yeah.
Puglia, Piemonte,
Piemonte.
Yeah, I gotta go something different. I'll go Puglia.
It's Piemonte! God damn it!
It's Piemonte.
All right, let's just
With tannin like that, man,
I know.
and Slovenian oak.
let's just go.
Barbera Nebbiolo, I love shit.
Yeah, let's go to variety. Dolcetto, Barbera, or Nebbiolo.
I actually thought it could have been Barbera actually with the acidity.
Yeah.
I just don't see a Dolcetto with that level of
That's
acid.
true, that's true.
But I mean, look, what we know it has acid and has tannin
Yeah.
is Neb.
Nebbiolo.
It's Nebbiolo! Everyone who's picking wines for these mix packs, no more Barolo.
No more. So where's it from, Piemonte, Noah?
Is it from Langhe, Barbaresco, or Nebbiolo?
Or,
Fucking Barolo.
I think it's I don't believe it's a cru. I think this is a really, really amazingly well crafted from a good vintage Nebbiolo d'Alba.
This is Langhe.
Yeah,
But-
right, okay. Yeah, broader.
But
Face.
Yeah, you suck!
Yes.
Can I just have it maybe? Yeah, vintage.
Yeah.
It would have to be 16, I reckon. I reckon it's got a bit of age on it. Tannins are smooth.
It's 17.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
I was just about to say
Yeah, wicked. What's the producer on this one? Langhe Nebbiolo? Have a guess. Is it okay? Laura knows the producer that I would know. Is it a producer that I would actually know? No, it's not. I'm not aware of this producer. Obviously, it is definitely But I left Fratelli. Yeah, I do know them actually quite. They're not a tiny house there, but they're definitely not like stupid. I mean, they're relatively big, bro. Fratelli is on the slopes. I think coming up into Vernier on the left-hand side there. Just
How many times have you been there?
Well, live there for like 4 months. Yeah, like as you kind of come up to Vernier, it's like on the left-hand side. It's an amazing setup. Quite a large setup.
Memory retention and being an absolute nebuphiliac.
I'm in there 3 times. These guys.
Complete and utter nebuphiliac. Yes, absolutely. Uffe.
Yeah, man.
We're done.
Cool.
We're done and dusted, mate. Thank you so much for coming on tonight.
Pleasure.
And of course, a bit of a live audience. We have Laura, Adrian as well. Thank you very much for coming on board. And of course, Noah, thank you very much for running around. Lots of running around tonight, wasn't there?
Eight skews. No, 7, sorry.
Guys, obviously, the Poppelvej link is actually in the description above. And of course, being Wednesday, this is the last night for One Up for the People for the week. And so you should be chiming in on Monday. We actually have Ollie Margan. Now, Ollie Margan is...
Really? I didn't know that! Sick!
Oh, that's sick! Ollie Margan is obviously, as the last name might imply, from the Margan family of Margan in Hunter Valley, but has been like making incredible waves in the cocktail scene in Adelaide at places like Maybe May. For example, he's behind places like Shabosho West and a few other venues across Adelaide. So he's going to be joining us on Monday talking about wine, cocktails, vermouth, and a few other things as well. But guys, seriously, when does this drop?
1st of September. All these.
So can people who are the first people to find it? Is it like, how do they find it? They just have to keep clicking the refresh button on the 1st of September?
Yeah, they follow us and go on our website.
So jump on the website, mailing list, and that's on the 1st of September. There's going to be, guys, get on the mailing list, particularly for this Maverdura's next level. The Viognier is phenomenal. And yeah, I'm wrong. He's right. He's made an incredible Australian Viognier. He's changing my tune, and I'm very, very happy to be wrong about that. But until then, guys, good night. Thanks, man, and we'll catch you soon.
You see, guys.
Seven, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You'll never have the sacred stone.
Oh, this you crazy mother.
So exciting!
Here we go! Holy crap! Welcome! Oh my goodness, it's Wednesday, and if you're as excited as I am, which I doubt you are thoroughly, we're about to explore the world of flowers. You need to turn that down. I can hear myself talking. It's insane, and I hate my voice. Hello, Carly. Thank you for joining us so freaking early. Hello to Australian Bartender. Thank you for joining us on Instagram. You are absolute champions. We're really looking forward to the real Melbourne ISO Awards, which is coming up
I keep seeing posts about it, and
yeah.
I'm just like following every single one, waiting for what happens.
It's going to be a lot of fun. We have a really cool international guest joining us. It's going to be really, really cool. So we should have the final voting ready to go soon. So definitely jump on Facebook and give that a go. But we have the incredible Jess Clayfield with us, the Lady of Botanicals.
Officially Lady of Botanicals.
With us this evening. Oh my freaking goodness. It's going to be tons and tons of fun. We're exploring the world of flowers. And you've come prepared.
I figured, like, if we're talking about flowers, I'm
Yeah.
gonna go full floral. Like,
Yeah.
just embrace the theme.
I love it.
It's groundbreaking. I mean, it's not quite spring yet, but I
Yeah.
can pretend it is.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Well, it's not, it's like not even close to spring. It's
No,
like in
but
the depths of
I've
winter.
still got my knees showing, so
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I'm open to spring whenever.
It's like spring's a person. I'm open to you. Hit me up. Give me a call.
Awful.
Yeah, I know, absolutely terrible. Hello, Ben. Hello, Paula. Hello, Kirsten. Sophie Connor. Wow, I know. It's been a
yes.
long time, dude. Carrie, hello. Adelaide misses you, Jess. Yes,
Of course they
let's,
miss me.
Let's talk about this. I mean, Jess is the only person to have straddled the streams. I really need to stop saying that. As soon as it comes out of my mouth,
It's
I
the
know
best
it's...
way to say it,
I
though.
know
There's
it's wrong,
no
though.
other real way to say it.
It's super gross though. Straddling the streams. She's been on the Unico Zello stream, and now you've come home. You've come home.
Somewhat come home.
Yeah, yeah,
Adelaide
for sure.
is always home to me. I have to say that. But I accidentally wound up in Adelaide 2 days before lockdown.
Okay.
I come back here because I got to get back to my job, got to get back to making cocktails, and we go into lockdown again. And today was the final day to be able to actually return to Adelaide. My mum calls me last night, tells me that my dog is unwell, with not enough time to be able to actually get back to the state. And I'm just like, this is not the time for this conversation. You've told me about your lunch, you've told me about brunch, you've told me about your new job, and now you're telling me my dog is unwell.
Just at the back end. She thought she'd throw it in.
It was like, it was a little thing on the sly, and I'm like, that's not how you start this conversation.
Yeah.
But
oh my goodness.
fortunately, Lani is okay.
Oh phew. Fuck.
She's back to
Oh my
eating
God.
chicken.
Oh my God! I thought that was gonna get real heavy there for a second.
She's back to eating like shapes, chicken
Yeah.
crimpies.
Okay.
She's totally fine.
Oh,
But I'm like, what a way to potentially go back to South Australia.
Yeah, that would have been terrible. Yao, what's up? Hello, my man. I hope the Elysian is treating you really well. Hello, Emma. Hello, Jimmy. Hello, Andrew. Tiny hint of spring today. Yes.
For a moment, Shanae, I'm not making an aviation. Leave me alone.
No, we are not making an aviation tonight. That is not happening, Shanae. Definitely not. Come on, warmer weather, 100%. Quote of the night? Maybe. I don't know what we were referring to. Oh, straddling the streams, probably.
Definitely quote of the night.
Just received your Kwandong last week. What tonic do you recommend? Sarah, I'd probably go... I mean, you tried the Kwandong as well. You tried it before I gave it to you. I felt insulted.
I'm very familiar with Kwandongs and how spectacular they are. Look, to be honest, if you have like a good amount of tonic at home, I would actually stick to Mediterranean tonic as just being like the best way. It's not super bitter, so it's going to go really well. But if you can get your hands on, there's this South African tonic, it's called Barker and Quinn.
Oh.
They have a honeybush tonic, and if you can get your honeybush tonic for that, it will be dope. But I will stick to my Mediterranean as like how I would serve it.
There you go. I was going to say Strange Love Coastal. That would have been the way to go. Yeah,
that would be funky.
something a little salty, you know, to go along with how sweet the gin is.
See, I'm
Just
a
give it
little
salty
bit
edge.
sweeter than salty, so I'm
Oh,
I'm here
sweet.
for like bringing out those sort of like really like sort of sweeter, more like fresh fruit type characteristics.
Yeah, cool. I dig that. Lady of Botanicals. Someone saying hello. I can't pronounce that name.
Aoife,
Far out.
I dreamt about you last night. Aoife.
Yeah, you were apparently not making the right curry.
She wasn't making curry.
That's
Don't
a
feel
quote.
promising. That is a dream. It is a topic for another time.
Oh, dear me. Kirsten, everyone needs to go and vote for Henry in the Real ISO Awards for Best Stream. You are far too kind, Kirsten, and if you want to, great. If you want to vote for someone else, you can also do that as well. Hello, Sareka. Thank you for joining us. Hello, Sally. I hope you're doing well. Say hello to the boys for me and your family. Kirsten's already linking people up to the Real Melbourne ISO Awards, which is a really cool thing. Please do join us for that event. I think it's happening on the 15th of next month.
Yes.
From memory, Daniel Monk, let me please correct me on that one. That would be great. Hello, Sundog. Great to see you guys. We're going to get into it. I'm going to make you a drink.
Please.
And in the
It's been
meantime...
all day. I've
I
been
know.
waiting for a drink. I've
You've been
had my
waiting for a
cup
drink.
of tea. I've cleaned the back bar at Gin Palace. I'm ready for a drink.
Awesome. Yes, let's make you a beverage. So tonight is all about flowers. Now, it's kind of a weird topic in some ways.
Yes.
Would you agree?
I think it's a topic that's open to a lot of discussion.
Yeah.
And I myself have come prepared with some more unusual florals.
Yeah. Well, so have
pick.
I. Yeah.
So I'm ready to talk about something other than rose.
Yeah. Because rose petal definitely rears its ugly head. No, but rears its head in gin quite a lot. We see a lot of rose involved in gin, especially in pink gin. For God's sake, it always happens that way.
There are good moments for rose, and I enjoy it when it happens. And to be honest, just to duck into a bit of the science behind all this stuff just for a second, the compound that makes rose flavor is actually present in juniper, and so it makes sense to talk about that. But it is, I think for me, it's not the only botanical to talk about. And when we're talking about floral flavors, it's a really, really broad category that I feel gets narrowed down for no real reason.
Yeah, for sure.
Because people sort of put it in oh, it's going to be sweet, it's going to be easy drinking. I'm for me, the drinks that I'm making tonight are not necessarily going to be easy drinking ones. They're going to be really intense, really bold. And talking about florals, we're not talking about one or two flowers. We're talking about an entire category of plants. Yeah,
there's a huge almost every single plant has a flower most plants have a flower of some description. I think. Yeah. I'm no botanist at all, but I mean, we're literally toying around. No, I'm not. I was about to say. I'm going to say it. We're toying around with basically floral reproductive organs. That's what flowers are in many ways, shapes, and form.
They're necessary.
Yeah, and we mess around with. Oh dear, this has gone into a ditch that I didn't intend for it. But they are the sweetest part of the plant to a certain degree. There are exceptions to that rule, of course. But they're flowers often possess this
they need
beautiful.
To be. They're attracting bees.
Exactly.
The best thing ever made.
Yeah, they're also attracting this. It's reproduction, baby. That's what it's all about. That's the way to go. Also, guys, do let us know what you're drinking this evening. If you are having something delicious, let us know. We love to hear what people are drinking. And if you need any suggestions, hit us up as well. We freaking love that stuff. Oh, Trish Brewer's chimed in. Hello, the Super Sleuth has got it. How you doing, Trish? Good to see you as always.
Exciting.
So basically the structure of this tonight is we've each picked a flower.
Yes.
So I've picked 2 native Australian flowers, and I wanted to pick something that was really straightforward and easy, everyday flowers that we all know, rather than me going oh, I'm going to pick this very obscure flower that you guys haven't heard of, and lord it over you. I was I got these flowers from around my house. So they're actually, if you are living in Australia, they're really, really easy to get. So it's going to be tons of fun. Sorry, I'm making sure to do the right measurements for everything.
I picked flowers which they grow here in Australia, but they grow as weeds, and they're things that you look over and you'd be oh, I've probably seen that, but I didn't know that it's actually used. Yeah. And so I've gone in and looked at because a lot of these ingredients that were brought over to Australia they were brought over for a reason. Yeah. And a lot of them are ornamental, or they're bought for a specific purpose, and so I'm they're here now. We may as well use them, and let's enjoy them for what they are. And I've picked some funky things that you've definitely seen but might not know what they actually do.
100%. Tia has chimed in. Trish, Bruce, Reka, Yao, Jess, myself. Is this a Gin Palace lock-in or a masterclass on flowers?
It's both. It's both.
It's both all at the same time. I love you too, Trish. Drinking a Mai Tai, Paula.
Yes.
I love it. It's fantastic. You were the best thing ever made. Yes, Trish has just called you the best thing ever made, which is fantastic. So this drink that we've got today, my first flower is a golden wattle. Now we all know, shouldn't say we all know, but if you live in Australia, I remember when I became a citizen of this country, you get given a wattle tree.
Do you?
You do. You get given a freaking wattle tree. Yeah, along with your citizenship certificate, you get given a wattle tree to plant in your yard, and so you can always look at that tree and go That's that tree from when I became a citizen. And during winter, they actually give off these beautiful golden flowers that we're all really familiar with if you are Australian. If you're not, this is it. This is golden wattle that we've got right here. Really high in pollen. And you can actually extract quite a lot of flavor from it if you soak it in some hot water. So I used 70-degree water to soak it. I then added a little bit of salt and a little bit of sugar, lacto-fermented it for a week. I then reduced that mixture down and added more sugar to make a lacto-fermented wattle syrup.
Fancy.
Yeah, which we're using in this drink, which is a twist on a satin. So what we've got in here is we've got the Brogan's Way passion fruit husk gin, some of the Brogan's Way Marionette Collab passion fruit liqueur, which if you haven't had this, use go to the Brogan's Way web store right now. Use Henry as the code, and you get 5% off plus free shipping.
I tasted it for the first time tonight, and I really want to just have a bottle next to my bed for
it's unbelievable.
waking up in the morning. Just it tastes delicious. It tastes like passion fruit ice cream.
Unbelievable. Like I remember when I first tasted it, it was one of the first things in my life that made my eyes roll back in my head. And I'm talking about all experiences here. So we've also got 15 mil of so we got 45 mil, of the husk gin, 15 mil of the fruit liqueur. We then have 15 mil worth of that wattle lacto ferment that I talked about earlier. We then have 25 mil worth of lemon, then 2 drops of the Mr. Bitters honey apricot and smoked hickory, and then we have a couple drops of Wonder Foam. Now we're going to shake this bad boy up and then serve it up in a cocktail glass, and then we're going to garnish it with fresh golden wattle flowers. And we're going to see what we're cooking with. Sorry, I'm so behind on the comments tonight. You guys are commenting thick and fast. Yeah, thick. I mean, yeah. We're going to go through the comments after I shake this bad boy.
We'll have to. You go off screen to shake.
No, I'm going here. A little bit. Woo! So Sarah is drinking a Toreador. So that's basically a proto margarita with apricot brandy.
Delicious.
Oh, and this one has mezcal and tequila apparently, which is pretty freaking delicious. Holy
I
balls.
am not typically a big mezcal drinker.
Yeah.
But I have to admit, when it's done well, like it's golden. And
oh yeah.
I got my brother for his birthday this year. I actually got a home cocktail. It was a Mezcal Margarita, and it was amazing. I enjoyed the sip that I had. He was not quite ready for it though. He had a pub at home party.
A pub at home party?
Yep. Mum made a whole bunch of Palmers.
Okay.
And my brother stood there for a little bit, pouring cans of Pirate Life into a jug. Yeah. Just for his friends. And he was not ready for a Mezcal Margarita the next day, but it was good.
Yeah. That would have been rough. I think mezcal's probably one of the most divisive little drinks out there. That's for me.
It's one of them.
It's one of them. It's one of them.
I'm also for my next cocktail, I'm using one that I find very divisive. But,
oh yeah, cool. That's gonna be dope. It's so good. It's by Curative because I'm lazy. So that's the Black Pearl Toreador. Oh, that's what that is. Yeah, I've heard that's epic. If you go to Black Pearl and order it from them, you should be able to actually get it from them and get it delivered to your house. So definitely, support local and all that jazz. So, as I said, to garnish, oh God, some golden wattle.
Gorgeous.
Yeah. So, we're starting strong. We're starting tiki.
We're starting pretty.
We're starting pretty. I tell you what.
I think we're going to talk about flowers. We have to talk about them being pretty.
Exactly, and flowers are pretty. Cheers. Cheers to everyone at home. Cheers to the first drink. Oh.
That's good. That's delicious.
Holy fuck. I'm not going to lie, I didn't try these drinks before we started this drink. That's a fucking banger.
I've been talking a lot of smack about how good my drinks are going to be. And
yeah. Yeah, just before this stream started, Jess was like, "Hey, what's up? Do you like flavor?" And I was like, "Are you flexing on me right now?"
I was flexing. I was.
That was serious.
I'm gonna continue flexing.
You're gonna make your first cocktail. Oh yeah,
the Pina Colada. Are we gonna have a moment to talk this, or am I just gonna make my first cocktail?
Well, what do you think of that particular? What do you think of that particular cocktail?
I've had wattle seed plenty of times, and anyone who's listened to me talk about wattle seed will know how much I love it, and that is so incredibly different.
Yeah,
than
because
what I expected it to actually taste like.
yeah, so when you lacto ferment wattle flowers, you can cut them straight off the tree and just like take them home in a box. Just make sure they're submerged if you're gonna ferment them. You put them in a 0.25% solution of salt. That's how you start a lacto ferment. And then you just wait. You have to do a lot of waiting. But on the nose, what you'll get is this beautiful citrus characteristic.
When you gave
Yeah.
me the syrup earlier to smell, I said that it just straight up smelled like lemon myrtle.
Yeah.
And you get that like sweetness on the aroma, but then you get this like beautiful saline that just like I'm
Yeah,
already
it's-
about halfway through my drink right now.
it's pretty-
because it just keeps you going back.
Yeah, it's quite dry
awesome.
and works in a satin really, really well.
It does.
And also, like, these two together are just, it's the
delicious.
best.
It's
It's the
very
absolute best. Now, you've got a pina colada. Now, I want to stop for a second. And talk about the pina colada gin that poor Tom's just dropped.
Oh,
Because that's
my God.
hot.
It was.
That's hot.
I was very lucky to be able to taste it a few weeks ago, and it was such a secret to keep.
Yeah.
And because it's so incredibly delicious, and I think like the best part about it is that it has so much texture.
Yeah, really?
That it's like
God.
it's such a textural gin that it makes it so much more delicious. Like, yes, it does taste like a pina colada. You get that real funk from coconut,
Yeah.
but it like holds its own. And
Fuck.
I've not yet made it into a pina colada, but I'm so excited to try because
Yes.
it's hard to like for gin and tiki. You need a gin that holds up to tiki flavors.
Yeah, 100%. And it's a tough one. Like the satin for me is that quintessential tiki gin cocktail
Yes.
to a certain extent. But I mean, I'm trying to think of like some other maybe Singapore Sling isn't tiki and
Yeah,
like it's a hard nut to
toes the
crack. It's
border,
like
yeah.
it's a bit hard. Like it's so rum dominated that like finding
Rum
like,
has texture. That's
Yeah.
the thing, is like creating the right texture.
yeah, and that's why like the Kwandong gin that we just released, which is sadly sold out, was really good for tiki in
Yeah,
that
yeah.
capacity because it had texture. It was creamy. It was really elegant.
That's the thing. You need that.
100%. Now, speaking of pina coladas, take us away.
We
Because
have-
what's your first flower? Talk me through that.
So my first flower is gorse, sometimes called wind, sometimes called furze, but gorse was brought over from the UK as an ornamental flower because it flowers all year round. And there's an old saying which goes, when gorse is in bloom, kissing is in fashion, because it's like readily available all year round. Now, gorse, rather than like smelling and tasting like a regular flower, actually tastes like coconut.
Okay.
And
Can I put it in my mouth?
yes, I have a little bit here. Give it a taste.
I've never
just-
put. Who's put gorse in their mouth?
You've probably seen it. It's this beautiful,
Whoa.
bright yellow flower. And
Whoa.
so
Oh my god.
it tastes like coconut. Some people can't
like
smell
balls.
the coconut, but they get like sweet almond instead. And so really it just makes sense
Oh my god.
to use for a pina colada to like bring out tropical flavors. Now, fresh gorse
Yeah.
tastes like
Ooh.
coconut, almond,
Okay.
orange blossom. You'll get like ripe peaches and bananas.
I feel you.
And it changes massively when you heat it up.
Okay.
And you get like, it has compounds which create like flavors like toasted vegetables, like, and malt and all sorts of stuff.
Toasted vegetable is
Toasted
like
vegetable.
that's a very large umbrella to put flavor
No, but
under.
like, I'm gonna, like, sort of roasted sweet
Yeah.
potato and sort of pumpkin-y type flavors.
Yeah. Okay.
And so it was brought over here to Australia to grow just as an ornamental plant. But the thing is that gorse releases its seeds with heat, and particularly with fire.
Yeah.
And it relies on fires started by thunderstorms
Yeah.
to actually be able to grow. And it grows in really harsh climates, like terrible soil conditions. That's where gorse grows. And so when they brought it over to Australia, they realized that it just grew rampantly. We have the perfect climate for it, but it's not naturally growing here, so it became a weed.
Oh,
But
sad face.
sad face. Both
That's a
both
sad
of the
emoji.
florals I'm using are
Yeah.
weeds. But they both grow as weeds here, and although a lot is being done to actually like really control how it spreads and how it grows, and so that it doesn't take over our natural climate, I think it's like these ingredients which we overlook because they're pests, let's take them and actually use them as something rather than just getting rid of them.
Yeah.
So it makes sense to use gorse in a pina colada. To cut that very long story.
But that's really cool. Shorter. Like it has all these fantastic, like I'd say even like orgeat like elements.
Yes, exactly.
Which is what I was thinking of when you were like, oh, it's like nutty and coconut. I'm like, that's like orgeat to a certain extent.
In my mind, like tiki, orgeat, nuts to create texture is such an intrinsic part of it. I can't actually eat nuts. And so I'll get into it a little bit later with making this cocktail if I pour any more ingredients.
Okay.
But for me, that was like such a thing to try and actually make into it.
Yeah.
And so second ingredient I'm using, by the way, is agricole.
Cool.
I used a Navy strength to start because it needs to really hold up. We're putting in a ton of flavor into this drink. And so Navy strength will sort of help to cut through it. Agricole is going to bring some like really grassy, bright, fresh elements to it.
Yeah.
You know, we're now going to be like talking about like sort of coconut milk, butter, those sorts of flavors. So I need to like cut through it and make it really, really funky.
You need a little bit of alcohol and you need a little bit of that.
Exactly. It's tiki.
Like,
it needs to be boozy and tasty.
100%. That's the way to go.
Absolutely.
Sorry, I'm now having a look at the comments. It's definitely a lock-in, 100%, Tia. All the possums like wattle too. That's probably absolutely true. Yeah, possums do love wattle. Kirsten is drinking 50% whiskey from a local Melbourne distillery. I bet that is Fortis.
God, delicious.
I bet that is Fortis. That's awesome. Oh my God, I want to try that so bad. The Fortis looks incredible. It's the Starwood Fortis. It looks absolutely awesome. So, very, very excited.
Pina Colada, yes!
Pina Colada, 100%. And Tia's just said Fog Cutter is the best gin tiki. True. Yeah, I'd have to. I totally forgot about that, but I would 100% have to agree. I hope Singapore is treating you well, Tia.
I've heard the twisty selection over there is a little bit more intense than we have over here.
Well, that sounds awesome, and I definitely want to know what kind of twisties there are. Trish has eaten gorse.
Delish.
So I love it. I love it. There used to be gorse all over Paula's place in Kent when she was a kid.
Yes.
Yeah.
I first realized that I was over on Isla, and I had honestly the most.
I'm so jealous of you.
You should be.
You're like.
I had the most magical morning ever. I was out bird watching.
I just heard that. It was like, you should be. Yeah.
I had the most magical morning. I was out bird watching, and I saw like a deer. I saw a kitten, I saw a whole bunch of beautiful songbirds, and the only thing in bloom was gorse, and I had no idea what it was until I actually started looking into, like, going a little bit deeper into some Scottish botanicals, and they were talking about this flower that blooms all year round, and I realized I have so many photos of gorse, I didn't know what it was, and it was all in bloom, and I was like, well, there you go, I may as well start using it and tasting it.
When you told that story, all I could picture was that you saw a kitten and a deer, and I thought, did you see them together? Like a kitten rode up to you, mounted on a deer.
So
I was really excited for a second.
I was walking down to a bird watching hut. I saw the deer to the side in the little forest area. I was there to see some geese, by the way.
You were okay.
And migrating geese.
Okay, yeah, cool.
And then when I was in the hut, it was when I was like sort of watching the geese, and there were a few swans as well.
Yeah.
That I saw the kitten, and I tried to get it to come close to me, but A, I'm allergic to cats, so I don't know why I did that.
It's cute.
And B, as soon as it saw me, it was like, no, I'm getting out of here.
Oh, okay. Did the kitten have an owner, or was it just a stray kitten?
There was no one around. It was me and about 1,000 geese.
Oh my God, yow. Oh, holy shit. Pun of the evening. Did you just go, of course, I've seen this stuff before.
Oh, yes.
Well done, sir. That was excellent. That was so good.
It made me aggressively happy.
Yeah. So what have we got in here? What are the measurements that we've got?
Okay, so first of all, we put in our neighbor steak, we put in our agricole.
Yeah.
I've added some fresh lime juice, and instead of using fresh pineapple juice, I've decided to use a tapache.
Yeah.
Because honestly, I didn't feel like juicing a pineapple today.
For sure.
And so with that tapache, what I did was I added fresh lime peels, and I actually added the gorse to that.
Awesome.
Because gorse ferments really, really well.
That is absolutely awesome.
And originally, gorse was used to make meads and fruit wines, and so I'm like, I may as well use it just to like beef that up a little bit. I'm adding in a little bit more of this butter syrup as well.
Yeah, I was really excited about this.
You should be. Do you want to taste some of it? On
Yeah,
its
I
own?
do. Yeah, I'm
So,
going to taste a little bit.
Butter syrup, so it's butter, sugar, xanthan gum, gum acacia. I've added some orris fruit and a little bit of lavender. And it is going to have the texture of macadamia orgeat with that like right kind of flavor to cut through and make it really funky.
I'm taking this.
That's fine.
This is now mine.
I have 3 liters of it still.
I'm
so
taking this home. That's fucking unbelievably delicious.
Yes, it is. It's very good.
Oh my god.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm angry at how delicious it tastes. I want to put it on. I want to put it on
I'm
a
angry at
cupcake.
this. Oh, me too.
Do you ever make something that tastes so good that you're just mad about what you did?
I'm mad that I can't repeat it. Like sometimes I get really upset. I love that Paula was like, don't continue with the puns.
It was a good pun. It was solid.
Andrew, welcome. Good to see you, my man. I hope you're having a sensational day. I want to come back on the stream. Mate, we'd love to have you, so please, let's tee up a time. Would love to try this cocktail, by the way. I'm drinking some Burnley Brewing beers right now, 100%.
I could smash a few beers at the moment, I'm not gonna lie.
The coffee brown that they do is just epic. Yeah, give it a light little shake, and then you crack it and dump it into a glass. It's kind of a beer version of an espresso martini. Unbelievably good. Really, really good. Pancakes, yes. Yeah,
No.
you are absolutely... What?
Pancakes is this horrible joke.
Why? I think you should definitely put that butter on pancakes.
Have you ever been really hungover
Yeah?
and
Yes.
had someone jumping on your bed asking you to make them pancakes?
No. Why? I feel like you have.
I have.
Okay. Okay. This seems like a devilish in-joke.
It is.
Okay. Alright, cool.
And it's horrific. And I've never made pancakes since.
Oh, that's really sad, actually.
I make good pancakes, so it actually is.
Well, I'm sure you do. Like pancakes are happy discs of dough, which you cover in sugar in order to feel good.
Not anymore.
Now Trisha's like, haha, pancakes.
Leave me be.
Dear me. Yeah, Jess, can we get some pancakes tonight? Okay, and the Gin Palace team is diving in.
Yes.
They have decided that we're going to dive in. Awesome. This looks so good.
A little bit of nutmeg on the top.
Yeah.
So I figured if we were going to talk about orris fruit, if we're going to talk about florals, we had to talk about orris.
Yes, we absolutely do.
Being possibly the most fundamental floral flavor in gin. Orris root has myristic acid in it,
Cool.
which is what makes its texture,
Okay.
which is one of the things that makes it work so well in gin.
Yeah.
It has myristic acid and decanoic acid.
Ooh,
Myristic is texture, decanoic is aroma.
cool.
Myristic acid is really well associated with nutmeg.
Awesome.
And so it makes sense to use nutmeg on the top of it, just to increase
Ladies and
the
gentlemen.
aroma
Ladies and
and
gentlemen.
the texture, and like just make it work all super well together. Like I decided to go sciencey to make gin and
You
tiki really, really work
But
well.
this is dope. Congrats. Congratulations on this drink. Cheers. I know it's going to be delicious, and I haven't even put it in my mouth hole yet. Yep, that is fucking awesome.
Yeah, it tastes good. This is the first time I've
Holy
made it as
crap.
well.
Oh,
I told you I could make a better pina colada than you could.
oh, definitely. I knew that already. You know what it kind of tastes like? Pancakes. I just want to be in on the joke. Anyone?
Awful.
Awful. No, this is absolutely fantastic. This is incredible. Oh my god. See, we've got, like, the butter is the thing for me that just, like, nails it. We've got such incredible viscosity here in a drink which still has gin in it. And, like, oddly enough, I know that sounds weird, but, like,
No.
gin and viscosity for me aren't necessarily
It's a
terms
fine
which I...
line to balance of like, does your gin have the right texture?
Sorry, I'm getting stuff in my
I
moustache.
was ready to tell you that it was there. Like, gin needing to have the right texture, but also needing to, like, toe that line of it still tasting like a gin.
Yeah, 100%.
And so, for me, like, bringing in other textures and, like, ways to create other textures was, like, how you work gin and tiki in together.
Yeah,
it
absolutely.
needed to, like, taste like gin, but still taste like tiki.
Yeah, and still have all of the textural elements of tiki that you need in order
Exactly.
to make it this beautiful
It
tiki
holds
drink.
up. It's boozy, it's tiki, it's delicious.
Yeah. That's
really
unreal.
everything.
It's unreal. Doughy discs of joy. Yeah, absolutely. That is what pancakes are. I am always wishing I could taste these cocktails. Shot, that's a drinking word? Oh fuck, I said viscosity. I don't know whether it's a drinking word.
Do we both have to do a shot?
Yes,
or is it
we
just
do.
you?
Well,
That's okay.
no, but yes.
In for a penny, in for a pound.
100%. That's the way it goes. If you're joining us for the first time, if I say what we deem as a wanky term, we have to do shots. It's my way of punishing myself for being a wanker, which I completely own up to. You know,
What more can you do?
this happens. Blake Hall, thank you for joining us. How good are textural gins? Absolutely. Especially gins with tonka bean in them, because I swear to God,
I
that's
also
got some
put a
texture.
little bit of tonka bean in the butter syrup. By the way.
Oh, absolutely. Shot o'clock. You always do this, Henry. I know. Am I sorry? A little, but
Just
not a
a little
lot. Cheers to everyone at home. If you have a shot with us, if you like. Delicious. Oh my goodness. DJ McClaw said that looks awesome. Well, it was.
It is awesome.
That was freaking delicious.
I'm
now,
very happy with this. This
That's
is the
a
first
very
time I've
good drink.
actually made it. I sort of like,
Oofed.
I sat down and I really thought about it.
Yeah.
But I hadn't actually made it until today. Like every aspect of it, I was like, theoretically,
should
it's
work.
gonna taste good. The
Might not.
science, and you guys can't see, I actually have notes written down here
Yeah.
because the science works. But oh my god, it does actually.
But that's
taste
awesome.
good.
The science does work. Trust in science. Literally now and forever. Damien Coop, thank you for joining us, Damo. Absolute pleasure to have you. Our next cocktail is going to involve this humble little flower, which we see on the side of the road pretty much fucking everywhere.
It was always around my primary school.
Absolutely. This is Bottle Brush. Now, someone definitely said before that they've made Bottle Brush into a drink before. I saw that in there. Peter, I think it was you, off the top of my head. Sorry if I'm misquoting someone. But yes, Bottle Brush is what we've done. So again, we've done another lacto ferment. This is a lacto fermented Bottle Brush syrup. Bottle Brush kind of comes out smelling like chili and ginger.
It is not what you expect.
It's not what you expect at all. So that's what it comes out smelling like, but then it has this like gingerbready sweetness. So we're gonna try to make a bramble out of this. So it's a Bottle Brush bramble. Try to say that 5 times fast. But we're gonna use some coral gin in there to just give it a little salinity and also a boost from some strawberry gum.
Yeah.
So we're gonna shake all of these ingredients together. Stop it, you big flirt, Jared. You are too much. He just said, you two are looking gorgeous.
Of course we are. We're well coordinated.
It's the flower
today.
episode, and I love it. So we need 45 mils worth of coral gin in this one. By the way, I've not made this, so I don't know.
We're going to be really surprised by what we make today.
We are, fundamentally.
Theoretically.
Oh,
It's all
and
good. It's all good.
this is all theoretical. We've literally just like tried this. We're gonna pop some Nocturne in there because it came to me in a dream, and I've decided that that's what we're doing. So we need 5 ml of the Maiden Eye Nocturne per drink. A gorgeous Amaro. The base of it being obviously their Syrah, their reserve Syrah. And then the other calling card is the truffle that is involved in there as well. And you this is great. Jess has a thing about fungus.
I don't like it. It upsets me a lot because if you've ever seen a video sped up of how fungus grows, you'd understand that it's not okay.
Yeah.
But I do make some exceptions.
Yeah. Okay.
I make the exception when it comes to ramen,
Yeah.
sweet dessert wines,
Okay.
and first time I tasted Nocturne, I did not know about the truffle element, and it was delicious.
Cool.
And I have to concede defeat over the fungus, but it's so nice, and I just can't be mad. A little bit mad, but I can't be too mad.
A little mad. Just a little mad.
bit. I'll feel guilty, but like as guilty as you feel when you eat a cheeseburger.
So our next two ingredients are ruby grapefruit juice. So we've got 25 ml of ruby grapefruit juice in there as well, and then 15 mils of our lacto-fermented bottle brush syrup. So again, the same method as before, lacto-fermenting it for a week, then reducing down some of the juice, and then filtering it out and adding a bit of sugar. So here we go. Never tried this before. We're going to give it a red hot go.
Good luck.
This might be awful. And I'm completely comfortable with that. So here we go. Let's do it. Real fingers. Hello to you. Yeah, I can shake with one.
Fancy bitch.
I know, I'm just real fancy. Fungus is the strangest living organism on the planet. Absolutely,
Thank you, Jared.
Wait,
It
weren't you telling me about, like, you were like, have you ever seen a fungus reproduce? That's all good.
Have you seen them grow?
No?
They're disgusting.
What? How are they disgusting? I don't understand.
If you've ever seen like cursed images,
Cursed images.
you'll understand.
Have you
the
ever
feeling.
seen the cursed images?
They're just things that like shouldn't be okay, but they exist somehow, like bananas floating in the dark.
Yeah.
It's not okay, but they exist. And that's to me like the best example I can give of what a fungus growing is like. It's a cursed image.
It's a cursed image. Jesus Christ. See, I really
Have you ever
enjoy
seen something
fungus.
that makes you upset?
Yes, I absolutely have.
That's what
yes.
fungus is like.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fair enough then. I completely,
So you fully understand.
I fully understand that it's a deeply upsetting and it's a deeply upsetting and unsettling image.
It really is.
So now for garnish,
It does look very pretty.
it does, but does it taste very pretty? I
That's
don't
the
know.
question of florals.
So this is our these are our cocktails, and this is a bottle brush bramble, and we'll see how we're doing. Cheers to you all at
Cheers.
home. Third drink for the evening. The bottle brush is very subtle.
But it's hitting right now.
Yeah, and you see what I mean about like ginger and chili, but not
It's like
like
crystallized ginger.
Yeah.
Not fresh ginger, crystallized ginger.
it is, and it's such a weird flavor. Like go and pick some bottle brush off a tree, soak it in some water.
When you showed it to me earlier, I think in my head had like the bottle brush had almost like a Kwandong cross Rosella type flavor.
It doesn't. It's so strange.
It's so weird.
It's so left of center. And it's such a weird
It's
thing to work
delicious,
with.
though.
It's good. It's like exactly, and it also has the acidity of what a bramble should be. Like if I just used,
I will tell you, the last bramble I had, I almost wound up in hospital.
oh,
It was delicious. The bramble was fantastic.
Okay.
But I had only just started at Gin Palace.
I see.
And I, not only did everyone else not know, but I didn't know that I couldn't eat black currant. And so for me, like, a funky bramble that I can actually drink is, like,
Yeah.
very exciting.
It's really interesting. Like
It
it's such
sounds
a
lame to say, but it's very exciting to be able to, like, enjoy, like, those types of, like, sort of really, like, tannin-heavy, berry spice bitterness.
yeah. It's
It's
such
a
a weird
flavor, but it's so good.
Like it's so indescribable. Like when I tried to describe just tried to describe it to Ben and Simon
Yeah.
from Brogan's Way, I was like, it's like ginger beer, but with no ginger. And they were like, so it's like beer. And I was like, no, that's not what I mean either.
That's an annoyingly accurate way of saying it.
And Damien, bottle brush penicillin, absolutely.
Oh my
See,
God,
that would definitely work.
yes.
I thought about that today, and I was like, yes, that would be really cool. But then I was like, I'm doing like a satin with the wattle. And so I didn't want to do two really similar drinks in terms of their setup. So I wanted to try to push the boundary with bottle brush a little bit more, but absolutely a bottle brush penicillin.
100%. I think that's going to be the next one.
Fuck yes. And
Bring me some of the lacto ferment, and we'll make it a gin palace.
100%. Okay,
So
I've got a litre of it. So
done. I will
Easy.
trade you a litre of that ferment for 2 litres of butter syrup.
it's a deal. You're all witnesses. That's the way.
It's a deal.
It's a deal. Cheers. Intrigued. Yes, Sasha. Thank you for joining us, my man. Yeah. It's really intriguing. It's Well, we live near each other, so I can drop some off outside your house. Hello, Katarina. Thank you for joining us. I was going to ask, was it because it had nuts in it? But no. Yeah, of course. I feel a shot word coming up. Yeah. Look, I'm trying my best not to.
You're doing worse than I am, and I thought that I would be the instigator of this.
Yeah, 100%. Now, I do need to ask you a question. I need to ask you some straightforward questions, and I forgot to do this with our guest on Monday. So for every single new guest I have on this show, I ask them a few basic questions, usually before they make their last drink, so they feel judged. As
though I need any more nerves.
What we have is 3 questions in total, and one of them has a right answer, and you'll find out which one has a right answer through my reaction. Our first question that we always ask our guests is, what's your favorite cocktail? Like, if you walked into a bar and like Gundy, like I know it's tough because a lot of people are like, what time of the day is it? Or how do I feel? Did I have a hard day? And it's like, no, just like we're not really interested in how you are. We're interested. Sorry, that in the nicest way possible. But like, gun to your head. What drink?
Gun to my head. Last cocktail I ever drink will be a penicillin.
Oh, why? Why penicillin?
It is delicious. It's fantastic. It's so well balanced.
Yeah.
I used to work with a bartender named Phil, and he made the best penicillins I've ever made. Oh, I've ever tasted, I should say. And to me, at the end of the day, last drink I ever drink, it's going to be something fruity, it's going to be fantastic, it's going to taste delicious, and a penicillin, to me, honestly, hits all of those marks. And gin is, at the end of the day, what I drink every single day. Yeah. And it's the love of my life. Every now and again, though, you need to just stray from the course, and I do enjoy a bit of rum every now and again. Yeah. And so penicillin is my favorite cocktail ever made.
Awesome. Yeah. I dig that. I dig that real hard. Damien, yes, we did make a satin. It was the first drink of the evening. It was Planet Wattle. You can see, that's the name that I came up with. We've actually got the recipe on the chat, so you can scroll through there and you can find it. Now
it was a nut-friendly.
It was
satin.
a nut-friendly satin.
I was very happy.
Yeah, it's like fucking good. It's very delicious. My second question for you is in the theme of this evening. What's your favorite flower? Just out of curiosity.
What's my favorite flower? Yeah. No one's ever asked me.
What's your favorite flower?
But I did think about this on my tram right
here. Yeah, cool.
I really like white chrysanthemums.
Oh yeah, fair enough.
Because despite what like overarching, like when you look into like floral meaning, chrysanthemum looks like it's really soft to touch and looks like it's good for like ASMR. And so I really like chrysanthemums because they just look so nice to like, they're so soft. Yeah. And you just want to poke one when you see them. Yeah. I should say Lily. Lily is my middle name.
Okay, yeah.
But it's got to be a chrysanthemum.
Fair enough. And
what's your favourite flower?
What is...
Has anyone ever asked you?
No, no one's really asked me what my favourite flower is. I really like small flowers. Like, I'm really into like small little flowers. Nice. So like I really like baby's breath for some odd reason.
No, that's totally
like
fair.
I really enjoy how petite it is.
I've seen some really big, almost like aggressively large flowers, and they're kind of upsetting to see.
Yeah, I
like
feel
the
that.
idea of something dainty.
Yeah,
and, like,
I also like kangaroo paw. Like it's a really beautiful. I find it quite striking and quite beautiful.
My pet dog growing up,
Okay.
he loved kangaroo paw. We had them growing
okay.
up around the pool.
Yeah.
And that was the only plant that he would eat.
Yeah.
Was he would go when they were like really I guess in bloom, but when they had a lot of sort of like almost honeysuckle type tendencies, he would go and he would just eat them, and that's all he wanted. And it was so cute. But like kangaroo paw,
Yeah.
fantastic.
It's just one of those weird things. I really enjoy
like
it.
that as an idea.
I love that everyone has already like gotten into the chat.
No one asks enough what people's favorite
Tell
flowers
us what
are.
your favorite flowers are. Like, please, I would love to hear about it. Sareka loves chrysanthemum. Sarah, Baby's Breath is having a retro resurgence right now.
As
I
it
really
should
like
be.
I
Baby's
really
breath
like
is
it.
beautiful.
That's fucking cool. Damien Coop loves the satin in terms of the cocktail. That's not a
It's
flower.
my favorite planet, personally.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely the most chic planet. Look at those rings. Now, Paula, you're going to have to forgive me. Freesia? Is that Freesia? Freesia? Freesia. I'm going to say Freesia? Freesia is my fave. I need a link to what that is, Paula. I'm sorry about that. Oh, King Protea. Yeah, definitely. I really like the flower Vileplume is based off of.
That's a Pokemon.
Cool. Okay. Awesome. Yep. Dope. Sorry. That was a bit out of my wheelhouse. Not that I don't love Pokemon. I fucking love it.
I like that it was well within my wheelhouse
Well,
to get that.
Jasmine is my fave. Yeah, Jasmine's beautiful.
Jasmine
yeah.
is delicious as well.
Absolutely gorgeous. I thought the Protea wasn't an Australian native. I thought it was South African. Yeah, absolutely. It is South African, the Protea. I think our genus of the Protea, funnily enough, is the Waratah.
Yes.
I think is the genus that it branched off of.
It's a weird when you start getting like really into like where these plants develop from. They are almost entirely from Africa. Yeah. And so like if you, I guess, look at like South Africa and the way Australia's connected, was connected to that. Yeah. You can understand like the way these things work. It's very confusing.
But we definitely have the most ancient looking flowers on the planet.
100%.
Because
like sort of you go like what would you classically draw as a flower, and you draw like probably something like a blossom of sorts, maybe a rose.
That's so advanced. Like so advanced in terms of structure.
When you start thinking about Australian
structure.
florals, like it's a really completely different category to what most people start thinking about. And I've gone for more like European come to Australia botanicals to use, and you've gone like what was originally here, and like they're so different than what you'd expect.
Well, they're so primitive, like they're so primal in terms of like the actual sexual reproduction of them. But I'm not going to go into that because this is a PG rated stream, and I don't want to go into.
But, like, even,
I don't want to go into flower porn.
Even
right
to
now,
talk about like orris root, for instance, like the orris root comes from iris, and the most frequently used iris to get orris root is the Florentina, which is actually a combination of a whole bunch of different ones, and it's a lot of crossbreeding between them to get that flavor in the end of it.
Oh, right, yeah.
And so you wind up like coming out with that real Parma Violet flavor, which is what it's based on.
And there's been so much human impact in terms of flowers.
It has been in like honestly in terms of the conversation of orris root itself is really, really human impacted. And then when you look at like flowers that grow here are so much more based on what grows in the area and what works in the area rather than what can we grow and why do we need it.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a very different conversation between the two.
Yeah, and Paula, you're absolutely right. Australia has dinosaur flowers, and it's very true because of our isolated ecosystem for a very, 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 very long time.
It makes for such an interesting array of ingredients
but this is what I mean.
have to use.
It's like all these flowers are edible.
Yeah.
How fucking cool is that? That's so fucking dope.
You see them most days and you don't even
we
think
walk
about
past them and like we don't even think, oh, you know what? I'm just going to cut off some bottle brush and stick it in a tub. It's fucking cool. Yeah. It's super dope. Florentine, yes, absolutely. Blake,
Florentine is the most used one. It comes from Italy. It is based on the Germanica. The Iris Germanica, which was grown specifically for the reason of creating orris root flavor.
That's fucking dope. Sasha, Frangipani for sure. I love it, guys. Thank you. Like everyone so thoroughly like fucking answered this. Go into flower. Is that flower cock? Go into flower porn! Go into flower porn, Henry, please.
Flower porn is
Flower
honestly
porn,
the
flower
end
porn.
of the day why we're
Yeah.
here. It's flower porn.
Yeah, flower porn. Yeah, it's blocked out from my chat because people aren't supposed to write swear words. Flower porn. Yeah, you say porn too much. Literally, you couldn't get past the ratings board. Yeah. Well, that's fair enough. Or I say fuck too much. Yeah, that's probably true as well. But yes, we will get into flower porn. I'll give you some nice flower porn ASMR right at the very end. But I have one final question for you before you make your last drink, and then we need to move on to like games.
Yes.
My final question is this, and there's a right answer. Are you team martini or are you team G&T?
Oh.
Mm.
Personally speaking, I drink a lot more gin and tonics than I do martinis.
Uh-huh.
And that comes from having drunk gin and tonic since I was 2 years old.
Uh-huh.
But there is an art to making a good martini that is unsurpassed in any other category. Like, we can talk about making like a good tiki drink, but really making a good martini is to me like the height of just excellent drink making.
Yeah.
And you can make it at home, you can make it fucking wherever you want, but a good martini is the best thing ever made.
So you are...
I'm team martini. Despite how much I drink gin and tonics, I am team martini.
Exactly.
Give me a good martini and I will be the happiest person ever.
Exactly. Yeah. That is the right
That's
answer.
the right question.
Thank you. No, but it's obvious that, like, yes, I know everyone out there loves G&Ts. All of us love G&Ts. The most drunk I've ever been was on G&Ts, and I yelled off a balcony. Woo!
I will happily drink tonic water neat.
Hell yeah.
Like, to me,
awesome.
like, growing up, like, probably between the age of, like, 5 and 17,
Yeah.
I just drank tonic water. And then I started actually, I started adding gin to it.
I love
But
it.
to me, like, a good tonic water is just a staple of what I drink and eat every day. I have cheese, I have hot sauce, and I have tonic water. And that's all I care about.
Those are your staples.
Those are my staples.
I love that as soon as we mention tonic, the Fever Tree team have jumped on board
That's
saying
they
mix
damn
with the
well
best. And you know it, mix with the best, guys. That's
Mix
the way to
with the
go.
best. It's like, it's a very accurate statement. Like, if you're gonna have I keep a lot of tonics in my fridge, but I also have access to a lot of tonics.
Yeah.
And depending on what I'm drinking, I will switch. But when my mum sends me a message asking me what tonic do I buy for this gin, Fever Tree is always a good way to go.
100%. And plus, you can pick it up everywhere. And that's the
Exactly.
like, it's so
Where
accessible
are you
and
gonna
so
find the
good.
obscure, weird American tonic syrup
Yeah.
that I'm talking about?
Yeah, it's like, I mean, you can, if you want to, you can head to Bitter's Lab and get some Rudd & Co., which is their beautiful American tonic syrup. You can, if you want to, but I'm not going to lie, that even was an effort for me. So, you know, and when all else fails, mix with the best. That's the way to go.
The Jack Rudy tonic syrup?
Jack Rudy, that's the one. Yeah, I was thinking
It's one
Punch
of
and
my
Judy.
favorites, and I was like,
it's so
Punch
good.
Judy?
Yeah,
Jack
Punch and
Rudy?
Judy. Yeah, Jack Rudy, that's the one. That was a bit of a spoonerism. Now, I'm going to let you get on with making this drink, and I want you to talk about your last flour.
Okay, I will start my last flower with a very annoying suggestion from a friend. So I've been writing a lot of documents about different botanicals, about what goes on with them, why are they good, why are they used, and my very good friend, and the person who actually brought me to Melbourne was Tiandra, and she said that thistle would be a really great one to talk about.
Yeah.
And so I started researching thistle, and it's so boring.
Okay.
And it's awful to talk about, but I felt as though it should be discussed because thistle is really, really in a lot of the cuisine that we eat. And it's such an intrinsic part into how we get so many ingredients that it's important to talk about thistle.
Yeah.
Thistle in Australia, most of them considered as weeds, very, very bad weeds.
Yeah, okay.
Thistle is also the most consumed plant by bees
Okay.
to get them to make different honeys. And so milk thistle in particular is a really great one to talk about.
Yeah.
But thistle in general, you've got that really classic floral flavor. You get a lot of chamomile. You get quinic acid, which is actually what makes like
Quinine?
quinine.
Yeah, cool.
And so when we're talking about gin and quinic acid, we're talking about like molecules that, weirdly enough, I am not very good at science. I did not pay much attention in high school.
Yeah.
But the molecules that join juniper and quinine literally like fit together like a jigsaw puzzle.
Awesome.
And so to
Oh,
talk
shit.
about these sorts of flavors, I felt was really important to like, we can talk about a whole bunch of different florals, but talking about quinic acid is a really important one.
Yeah, okay.
And one which has a lot of it. So I started with the applewood gin just because
Awesome.
it was going to add a little bit of sweetness to it with the strawberry gum
Yeah, for sure.
that I needed. Quinic acid is bitter and tannic, as it's insanely bitter and tannic, really, is what I can say. And so I'm just going to start with that. I've then done a bit of a blend of a few different styles of vermouth just to get really the style that I wanted.
Okay.
I wanted something which was floral but sweet as well.
Yeah.
And I wound up actually sort of, what's the term? Washing it with white chocolate?
You fat washed it with white chocolate?
Yes.
That's fucking dope. Okay.
I did that
Cool.
this morning, and it was sort of like, it made sense to again create the right texture for a drink.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, because you've got this thickness of
Yeah.
that word. Yeah, you've got a good amount of that. That's awesome.
And what I wanted to do at the end was to use the most underrated thistle that we eat so regularly,
Oh, I know. Yeah, I know what it is.
artichoke.
Yeah.
Artichoke is actually a floral ingredient which no one ever thinks about, and that is where the bulk of the quinic acid comes through.
Awesome. That's so fucking cool.
No one ever thinks about
You've
it.
made my nerdy brain explode. I love this.
To talk about floral ingredients, like, we can talk about like the surface level of floral, and then we can really actually go deep into what is floral.
Yeah.
Technically, artichoke is floral.
Yeah, well, it very much is. Like, artichoke hearts have this florality to them.
So they're picked. So artichokes, like when you look at the plant itself, and the best way I can describe this in layman's terms, which is how I understand it, is you have sort of like the main part of it, and then you have the floret on top, and
Yeah.
that's that like purple, really bright part of it. And artichoke is the base of that flower.
Yeah.
And they're picked before they like get their florets, before they bloom, really.
Yeah.
And that's how you get that sort of method. And so what I've decided to use with Chinar,
Yeah.
which is the artichoke amaro, and make essentially a version of a hanky-panky.
Awesome. That's
which
so
is,
dope.
And it's the idea of talking about flowers without strictly talking about floral flavors of what people expect.
That's so fucking cool.
And for me, like, that was why sort of like when you sent me a message, you're like, we can talk about like a few different
Yeah,
topics.
A, B, or C. I was like, yeah,
floral
pretty
was
good.
really what stood out to me, was the idea of talking about flowers in a context other than just sweet, easy, approachable drinks. Was talking about like complex drinks that people don't necessarily always enjoy.
Yeah. Like talking about, like, for example, with Australian natives.
Yes.
They've got this fucking intense minerality.
Yeah.
That's present, and there's, for me, I haven't put a flower in my mouth since I was 3. But also, like, I haven't, a lot of the flowers that I've eaten have always been, you know, sweet, demure, very laid back. They haven't been bitter or mineralistic or had any
like,
of those aspects.
As an entire category, to talk just for a very, very quick moment on the entire category of floral gins, it is not relegated to one specific circle of being sweet and easy drinking.
Yeah.
And floral is such a vast category that people don't put enough, like, it takes a lot of effort to actually distill floral botanicals.
Yeah.
It takes so much precision to do that, and people don't appreciate that as well as they could, because it's kind of considered an easy flavor to work with.
Yeah.
Whereas
yeah.
it's so much more complex.
Yeah, it's so much more interesting as well. Like,
Yeah.
as soon as you get past that kind of laissez-faire, oh, it's floral, it's like, yay. It's like, when you actually get into it, there's so much density in terms of the actual flavor profile that's there.
There's much more depth in flavor than people, I think, generally understand. And so what I decided to do was, like, to me, in my head, make this bridge of 2 flavors.
Yeah.
And so what I've done with this final bit is actually take some milk thistle And milk thistle is the most widely consumed thistle out there. It was originally used as tonics.
That's awesome.
It was a sort of compound used to cure a whole bunch of ailments, largely related to sort of like your liver type usages.
Yeah.
And then I actually infused it with a super floral gin
Okay, cool.
to bridge that gap of like, what do we talk about when we talk about floral gins? What are we talking about really when we talk about florals?
Yeah.
And so we've got a floral tincture. I'm going to add way more than I said on the recipe.
Yeah, do it. Just do it. I'm going to put the recipe up right now, just while Jess gets some glassware. And guys, I know, Jared, you love to fat wash with white chocolate. That is 100% true.
This was my first time fat washing with white chocolate. I've done a lot of syrups with white chocolate because it creates such an amazing texture. And working for a moment...
Okay, florality is not a word, apparently. So thank you, Cara, and thank you, Kirsten, and thank you, Damien. Thank you all for that. Yeah, and thistle is a Scottish flower?
So thistle, there are over 200 varieties of thistle.
Yeah.
Thistle generally actually refers to a flowering plant with spiny elements.
Okay.
Whether it comes from the leaves, the stalk, whatever.
Yeah.
Thistle is a really broad category. There are 14 main thistles to talk about.
Yeah.
And within that are 200
Holy crap.
to really discuss.
That's okay. Well, we won't get to that this
And
evening.
so I didn't bring all of my notes on thistle.
That's all good.
Incredibly lengthy, but to talk about milk thistle and artichoke are sort of the main ones to really actually discuss.
Yeah, holy crap. All words are made up. Let's just do shots whenever. Stephen, you're absolutely right, but also making up a word like florality and then saying it with just that element of pomp and circumstance that the wanker in me did, I think it probably deserves a shot. Minerality is also on the list? Fuck! Well, I didn't know that minerality was on the list, so sorry. I'm getting us all in trouble. Demure has to be another shot. Come on, guys. This is some kick-ass knowledge. Cara Divine, I was about to question that word. Surely it's a word. I mean, maybe it is and maybe it isn't. Nasturtium flowers can be pretty intensely peppery. Nasturtium, my bad.
Nasturtium is delicious. It's very slightly peppery. I tend to use the leaf rather than the flower because I had a dream about it once. And you'll find many cocktails I make come from dreams that I have.
Oh, that's fucking cool, though.
But I was listening to a podcast one day and they were talking about it. It doesn't even matter what they were talking about, but
okay.
They were talking about the cardinal direction, so north, south, east, west.
Yeah.
And about changing them. And one of them was changed to still water on lake. And in my head, that immediately translated to nasturtium, and so I wound up making a nasturtium drink that looked like a glass of water with a lily pad on the top. Nasturtium leaf is delicious, by the way.
That's fucking cool.
Let's drink these cocktails.
That's really
Before I go on any further about floral ingredients.
We're gonna taste these cocktails, and then we've actually got to do both of these shots.
Okay, that's acceptable.
So cheers, guys. Cheers to the final cocktail. Cheers. Thank you so much for your knowledge and expertise.
Thank you for
this
letting
evening,
me
Jess.
ramble on about
You are
it.
more than welcome. We're so over an hour, and we're just gonna go. We're gonna go for it, kids.
I'm very happy with that.
Oh,
Do you get that texture that just keeps on giving, and it's giving you bitterness, so you want to drink it even more? Welcome to Thistle.
Whoa. That's world class, people. That's world class. That is such an excellent drink, it's not even funny. Holy shit. Just give me 2 seconds.
He's giving it off to our cameraman to have a look at, but I'm a little upset at how good that is myself.
No, you need to keep drinking that, because that is absolutely exceptional, people. That is unbelievable. I do believe I did send the recipe to all of you. Yeah, I certainly did.
Yeah.
So if you can make that, at home, please do give it a red hot go. To be tons of fun. Is
That
this?
turned out, honestly, like, I was thinking that the Pina Colada was going to be the better of the two,
Yeah.
but I'm feeling that hanky-panky variant.
No, that hanky.
is,
I think that's probably the best of the evening. The hanky panky variant
it's
for
cutting
me.
through it just at the end that makes me want to keep drinking
Yeah,
it.
it's so damn good. I think the waddle and the pina colada are pretty damn fine as well. I think the bramble needs like probably a little bit of work, just a little bit. It's not quite as good as the
In my
others.
perception of a bramble, I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah.
But again, like, last time I had a bramble, it didn't end so well.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Sarah, I would like Henry's bar to be called Pomp and Circumstance. That's pretty funny, actually. I'd go with that.
Excellent.
Trish, is that why your drinks are so dreamy?
They are.
Absolutely. Make sure you start filtering about a day before you want to use it in terms of white chocolate fat washing.
It was a real stroll, to be honest.
Yeah.
Last night, I kind of had a really intense moment when I was like, oh my god, this vermouth blend doesn't have what I actually want in it, which
Yeah,
was
okay.
texture. Because at the end of the day, like, what I was looking at was, how do I balance the tannins?
Yeah, 100%.
And what I needed was a lot of texture to, like, you can have a lot of tannin and it will make it super bitter, but if you balance your tannin right, it'll make you want to keep drinking. And so when I was looking at that, I was like, oh my god, I need something creamy.
Yeah. And you went with white chocolate.
White chocolate is it's a favorite of mine, but so what happened was, like, I was in my apartment, I had my blend all ready to go, and it's, at this point, it's 3 different vermouths going into the one, and I realized, like, I thought I had some white chocolate in my apartment. Turns out I, in a intense haze, ate it.
Okay, yeah.
And I messed it all up, and I realized, like, the next morning, being this morning, I needed to remake that. And so I grabbed some baking white chocolate on my way into work, and I cleaned the back bar as I was letting this melt and sit and freeze in our freezer.
Yeah.
And it was really, honestly, the drink would taste garbage without it. And it's one of those things that takes time. I fortunately made enough of this that the first time I did it, and I just rushed it, and I pushed it through too fast, it turned out terribly, and it would have come out this really weird milky texture.
Yeah, okay.
And, like, I don't know how well you guys can see it at home, but it's actually, like, beyond the fact that the glass is chilled and the spirit is chilled, it's fairly clear.
Yeah, it's very, very good.
And that takes patience. And so when you're fat washing with stuff, you need patience, which I don't strictly have.
Yeah, you need time. It's the same with milk clarification. Time is always your best friend. So if you can like do a fat wash over a couple of days, amazing. If you can do milk clarification over a couple of days, even better.
Would have made it so much clearer, so much
but also so much more pinpoint as well.
Yeah.
Like we're being so finicky with this drink right now.
Finicky.
And I understand exactly what you mean.
Yeah.
But like if you were to make that for a bar, that would be just like fucking on point. That should be a gin palace. That will be a gin palace.
I'm not gonna lie, I've spent the past 2 months writing gin palace menus.
Yeah.
And they are so insanely written based on the science behind, like, and to me, I've never been a really sciencey person. I did not enjoy chemistry. I didn't enjoy physics in school.
Yeah.
But when you talk about the science behind matching ingredients with juniper, it becomes so much more interesting. And like for me personally, it was like finding what makes it work and like what to me makes sense, and talking about like people saying like, oh, geranium and gin work together on a molecular level.
Yeah.
And then rather than just accepting that, going through and understanding why it works together. Why does gin and quinine work together? Why does gin and certain floral elements go together? Just to talk about specifically today.
Yeah.
Creates such an open world of cocktails.
Yeah, for sure.
And a lot of them take time because floral ingredients are really hard to work with. They take a lot of effort. They take a lot of precision. And to be honest, a lot of time. And one of the things about working with gorse in particular was, which surprised me in researching about it, was that gorse works well with heat.
Yeah, okay.
But it's a small heat over a long period of time, rather than a lot of heat over a short period of time.
Yeah.
And it's such an interesting thing to start working with and to start talking about those flavors. If you heat gorse too quickly, you get a lot of disgusting bitter flavors. If you heat gorse, like slowly bringing it up over a long period of time, we're talking about flavors like malt and biscuit and like dried peaches.
Yeah.
And that's such an interesting thing to talk about.
And time is always going to be your friend when making
Yes.
pretty much anything. Doing
if you
things.
have it, time
Yeah.
is the best.
Time is so good, which you might have a little bit of now, being in isolation, if you are. Donna Clayfield, Jess,
that's
come
my
home and make
mum!
it. Yeah, hello, Jess's mum. Thank you for joining us this evening. You're about to watch your daughter do some shots because of
She's
my
seen it
terrible
before.
words. Well, there we go. Could you add gum arabic to vermouth to get texture? Well, you could,
Yes, you could.
but it's not gonna.
For me, it was about creating that like milky texture,
Yeah.
and so gum arabic, yes, would work. But to me, working with something fatty and dairy heavy made the most sense for what I was working with.
Yeah, and you could milk clarify it to give it that creamy texture, but you're going to lose acid, which I think was really.
Acid was, particularly in talking about the first drink, acid
Yeah.
was something which was really massive to talk about. So for the Pina Colada, myristic acid was something which I was really interested in, and that was that really buttery texture. Decanoic acid was about creating the aroma of it, and decanoic acid is not necessarily a very nice smell. It smells like farm animals and goats.
Awesome.
But it holds the aroma of everything else so much more that it became, like, in talking about nutmeg and butter was such an intrinsic part of creating that flavor.
Yeah, and it's a linchpin for so many other compounds
Exactly.
that are around it.
And well, when you look at a lot of gin botanicals, you'll look at, there are a few links that really join them up, and one of them is alpha pinene, which is intrinsically that flavor of juniper.
Yeah.
And it's present in so many ingredients that you don't even think about.
Yeah.
My favorite to talk about is cardamom. Has a lot of like menthol and minty type flavors and that pinene. But then also there was like to talk about just really the characteristics of what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's fucking sick. So read a book, or search it on Google,
Read a book.
or you can join Jess Clayfield on a podcast talking all about flowers, which you should fucking do. Oh my god.
Just send me a message and I will send you all of the notes that I have written myself about these types of ingredients.
That's the way to go. Holy
Because
balls.
we're talking about like linol, which
Yeah.
is in almost everything, and that's like floral and spice characteristics. And
Yeah.
we're talking about alpha pinene, which is in so many gin botanicals that we talk about, and it just makes it all work
Makes
really
it all
well
make
together.
sense, and that's what we're all about:
Makes
demystifying this crazy world that we live in.
Exactly.
You need to pick up shot glasses because I said some naughty words. And speaking of Friday night games, Donna, are you ready to enjoy some Wednesday night games?
Always.
Cheers. I'm sorry for what was it? Florality. Mineralistic. Yeah, I deserve that.
They were good though.
So, we are ready to play one of my favorite games, or my second favorite game in the world, because the one after is probably my favorite game. It's one of my favorite games called What's That Bitter Taste in My Mouth? Cue the basketball sirens.
Very impressive.
Thank you. I've been working on that sound effect all week. Now, if you haven't watched this segment before, this is all about demystifying the world of Amaro. We always ask ourselves three pretty much basic questions. The first thing is, what do you actually smell and taste? The second one is, do we think it's old world or new world? And then the last one, we narrow it down to 3 countries, either in the old world or new world, and see if we can pick it. And then if you can pick the country, we might ask you the region or the province. And if you can pick that, then we might ask you, do you know what it is? But we're about to see what this fucking is. Tiandra, or speak to Brogan, who's a chemical scientist and distiller. Yeah, that's also true. Yes, that is just me making that noise. I've been working on it in my bedroom when no one is watching. So here we go. This is our Amara for the evening, guys. It's a nice little orangey number. Cheers. Let's have a smell. Let's see what we can perceive.
Orangey, huh?
It's orangey. And it kind of smells like Fanta.
It's New World.
It's new. Oh fuck! Okay, straight out of the gate.
Sorry.
New World. Yeah, cool. Okay, great. Well, what do you get out of it? You want to lock in New World? Just straight away.
I want to lock in New World.
Cool. It is New World. You're absolutely right.
Dope.
Cool. So
It
what do you
does
get?
smell like Fanta. With like, if you're ever at the cinema and you're allowed to like mix your own post mix, it's mostly regular Fanta and a little bit of raspberry Fanta.
That's absolutely 100% true. That is exactly what it is. Because it does have these like confectionery-esque characteristics on the nose. On the palate, that's where the bitterness comes through.
Is it?
Well, I mean, first of all, I'm going to give you 3 countries that you can choose between.
Sorry.
Because do you think it's American, do you think it's Scottish, or do you think it's Australian?
I think it's Scottish.
You think it's Scottish?
Yeah.
Why? Just out of curiosity.
It reminds me of a certain Amara that I've had.
Okay.
That I'm really frustrated that the name is escaping me at the moment.
Okay. Alrighty.
But it makes me want to say that it is Scottish.
It's Scottish.
Yeah.
It's Australian.
Is it?
It's Australian. Yeah. Now, in Australia, do you think that it is from...
Who does Pompello?
Pompello?
Yeah.
Or Pumpel?
Yes.
Off the top of my head, I don't know. But yes, it is kind of like Pumpel.
But they also do the Amara London.
Okay, yeah, cool.
And this
I haven't had that one.
It's delicious.
Okay, cool.
This really reminds me of their Pompel.
Okay, yeah, dope. Cool. I dig that. Well, the Pompel I haven't actually shown before, but we will. We will get to Pompel.
I'm exceptionally nervous about this right now, of getting it wrong.
No, you're all good. It's Earn Brew. It's not that. Is it Sweet Dram? No.
Is
no,
it
it's not.
Iron Brew? I wish it was Iron Brew.
No, it's not Iron Brew, unfortunately. And no, it's not Sweet Dram. It is not. I haven't had Sweet Dram on this program either. I need to get some Sweet Dram and show it to people.
You can get it.
Oh yeah, I'll be able to find it. But now, in Australia, do you think it's from New South Wales? Do you think it's from your home state of South Australia? Or do you think it's from Victoria?
It's not from South Australia.
It's not from South Australia?
No.
Okay. Why do you say that? Like straight out of the gate, you were like, it's not South Australia.
I feel like when it comes to South Australia, we're talking about like Riverland type area.
Mm-hmm.
Riverland has a lot of citrus, but not grapefruit.
Mm-hmm.
And you're getting so much like really like rich ruby grapefruit off of this.
Yeah.
That I hope I'm not saying, like, I'm not putting my foot in my mouth by saying that it just doesn't seem like quite the right type of Amara for the region.
Okay.
When I taste a lot of South Australian Amaras, I taste a lot more gentian.
Okay. All right, cool.
I just feel that it just, I really hope I'm not putting my foot in my mouth.
Even if you are, it's totally fine.
That makes me think
You're not.
completely wrong.
You're not. It's really interesting. So where do you think it's from then? So you've got 2 states, Victoria and New South Wales. Where do you think it's from?
My gut says New South Wales.
Okay. It's South Australian.
Really? I
Yeah.
knew I was wrong.
That's okay. These things happen. It's from South Australia. Now, it's not ochre.
It's not
It's
ochre.
not ochre.
It's,
And I'm not teasing by
it's
like giving you an
not
ochre
ruby
from like
bitter
10 years ago.
No, I know what ochre tastes like.
Yeah, I've been
like
giving it-
old
giving
ochre
it-
tastes
Yeah,
like.
yeah.
I know what that tastes like. That's why
Yeah.
I'm like, I want to switch away from that because I feel.
So who do you think makes this? Just out of curiosity.
23rd Street?
It's not 23rd Street.
No, who is it?
It's AHD. It's the bitter orange. From Adelaide Hills Distillery.
I'm so mad!
Yeah.
No!
Yeah.
This is their bitter orange.
This is their bitter orange.
No.
Yeah. It's super grapefruity, which is so weird because it's bitter orange, but it's so grapefruity. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. It's not Never Never. It's AHD, bitter orange.
That makes me so mad because it's so delicious. I was so
It's
sad
really
that it wasn't
good.
from South Australia because
It's really good. Yeah.
that really grapefruit flavor doesn't like to me, someone like who, to be honest, when I was in South Australia, was that really almost Campari-like flavor doesn't resonate. Oh my god!
But like, it's very much this kind of Aperol sitting Campari-esque bitter.
I'm mad at myself for not picking that up.
Don't be mad at yourself. These
I'm
things.
gonna be.
No, don't be. It's one of these cool things.
Delicious.
Yeah, it's very, very good. But like, viewing it in isolation means that you're not informed by all of the other things that you know about the area.
Typically, I'm tasting it in like a fully made drink. But
Yeah.
Oh my god!
That's AHD. That's bitter orange. There you go.
It's so good.
Yeah, it's fucking good. It's fucking tasty.
I was honestly thinking like really something grapefruit, like ruby grapefruit heavy. Oh my god, that's still
But no, that's what it is. Now,
like in terms of Milano style, like this is like fringe Milano and it's fucking delicious.
Yeah, it's very, like, for me, it's very grapefruity. It's that sweet ruby grapefruit.
It's that sweetness that's kicking me on the end of it, that's pushing me out of it being full Milano.
Yeah, for real.
That's why I was so.
Yeah, it's a weird one. It's a good one. Now.
Oh, I'm angry.
No, don't be angry. You can't be angry for our last game.
I'm never very angry, but I'm like.
You're at least 40% angry.
I knew that it wasn't Old World.
Oh yeah.
And
Straight out of the gate, you were like, not New World.
That's what was pulling me away from it being like full Italian.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, it's really cool.
Oh my god.
It's a good one, hey. Now,
I drink this so often.
Are you ready for our final game?
I picked the final game.
Here we go.
So I am incredibly ready.
We're going to peek at the final game. Here we go. All right. So, our final game of the evening, if you have not watched this before, is all about essentially taking some of the strangest and possibly the most weird cocktail recipes from around 10 years ago and making them to spec in the videos that we have found and then trying to give them some notes. Now, if you are familiar with the wonderful woman, Janae Niesonger, a really wonderful bartender from LA, she's now no longer in the industry, but 10 years ago, she was given the task by Mahalo.net, a want-to-be Google site that now no longer exists, 150 cocktails to make, and she had to make them to spec even though she knew that they were wrong. And these cocktail specs are pretty ridiculous, and we feel kind of terrible for Janae for the fact that she had to do this. But tell you what, she did a really good job. But we're going to make fun of these terrible recipes. This is Australia's funniest home cocktails. So here we go.
I love this name so much.
Here we go. We are going to cue the basketball sirens again from my mouth. So here we go. Here we go. And tonight we are making quite a brilliant drink, I personally think, called a flirtini, which, and there it is. There it is right there. Now, I personally haven't made a flirtini before.
Neither have
Are you familiar with a flirtini?
I am as familiar as you showing me the video and being like, here are the options that we have. And I went, flirtini.
Okay.
Of course, I want something teeny based. You know, Gin Palace, we're known for our martini variants. And I felt like flirtini was a good way to go.
Well, the only reason I know about a flirtini is because of the Mighty Boosh season 2 in the episode about Old Greg when they go to the when they go to the fisherman's pub and Vince is like, oh, I'd like a flirtini, thanks. And then he's like, what's a flirtini? And that's the only time I've ever heard it or ever had it ordered.
Absolutely awful. Someone once tried to get me into Mighty Boosh and it did not work very well.
Yeah, that's fair enough. It's sometimes not a good vibe.
I don't quite share that camaraderie.
That's fair enough.
Like with you.
Oh, that's fair enough. I don't blame you. Now, what we need to do, I'm just going to walk you through this.
Yes.
What we're going to do is we want you to make this cocktail while she makes it, as she makes it.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, I'm going to unscrew the pineapple juice. I'm going to unscrew all of this for you. Now, it should be there. Are you right-handed or left-handed?
I'm right-handed.
Wonderful. We're going to set it over here. So I'm pretty sure she pours that first. And then...
Oh, you are.
We're using the good stuff. And then I'm going to make sure that you have this ready to go. Now, I want you to watch. We've got it turned up as loud as it goes, unfortunately.
Hold on.
So get ready to rock and roll.
Wait, bear with me one moment.
Okay. Oh, okay. Yep.
I've seen this recipe. I've chosen this recipe because I just, like, every drink can be made better and stronger. And what is it? Harder, better, faster, stronger?
All right, Kanye. Jesus Christ. Alrighty, here we go. Yes, eels, Sarah. So, are you ready?
I'm ready. Emotionally, physically, we're all here.
I'm ready as well. Here we go.
Do you have my
Hi,
password?
I'm Janae from Mahalo.com, and I'm going to teach you how to make a flirtini.
I want everyone to know the flirtini is vodka,
The flirtini is a very
pineapple,
flirtatious
and
and delicious
wine,
drink. The
potentially
ingredients that you need for
champagne.
this drink is champagne of your choice. We'll be using
Champagne
Corbel,
of my choice.
vodka, and pineapple juice.
Vodka.
We're going to
Okay,
be
ready?
serving
Choose
these up
quick.
in a wine glass today,
does
but you
make
could
quick.
choose easily to do it on the rocks or in a martini glass even if you'd like. What you're going to do is go ahead and get a shaker filled with ice, and you're
This
going
is
to pour
taking a
1
very long
ounce
time
of the
for me to
absolute
talk
vodka
about
or
it.
whatever kind of vodka you're choosing to use into the shaker.
You're just taking over the stream. It's
Once
like,
you have
yeah.
that poured in there, you're going to go ahead and add your pineapple juice, about 1 ounce of the
Now
pineapple
we're
juice
adding
as
our
well.
pineapple juice.
The reason we're putting this into the shaker instead of just directly into the glass, we want to make sure it's just as chilled as the champagne. We would hate
She
to
said
warm
that
up
we
the
want to make
champagne
sure
with our
that
juice or our
we're
vodka,
getting
which
the
isn't chilled.
right amount of
So,
bubbles in
we're
our
going to make sure it's
champagne.
cold by shaking it up.
But we're using
Once it's
pineapple
all
juice, so we're going to
shaken
get
up,
like a really good
And then
level
we'll go ahead and
of
strain it into our wine glass or
viscosity
champagne glass, martini, whichever
into
way
our drink anyway.
you're trying to fill for the day. And it usually will fill up about halfway. And the other
Sorry, I'm just gonna let you. Oh my god! Are you joking? This is the largest amount of. Okay. We can always make a drink better. We can always make a drink better. Oh my god. Jess Clayfield in the house.
I was
Holy
never going to go
balls.
straight from the recipe.
Oh my god, that's mostly Navy strength. That's just no. That's 90% Navy
You
strength.
got the sparkling wine.
No. Please, after you. We'll just play the rest of the video while we're
other
here.
half, we're going to fill all the way with our champagne.
Can anyone else see
Give
what
it a
I'm
nice
doing?
sparkle.
Yep.
Give it some foam, a little overflow, a little volcano action, if you will. And that is how you make a
Volcano
flirtini.
action.
Little
if you will.
volcano action.
Thanks for watching.
Jesus Christ. Almighty God. This is not what I planned. Oh, fuck.
I'm sorry if you were thinking I was gonna go easy.
That face, you're both going to die. Viscosity is on the list. We need to do some shots.
Of
Goodbye,
course it
half a bottle of Navy. Okay, I'm gonna just taste this in a
Oh.
straw.
Come on,
You mean, come on?
taste properly.
It's death!
It's pineapple
put it-
juice,
Don't,
vodka, gin,
don't say
and
it like that!
sparkling wine.
Don't say it like, oh, it's just this! You Jesus Christ!
Done.
That's quitter talk? Well, now you've done it.
It is quitter talk.
Yeah, but you've got to taste it as well.
Of course I will.
All right, well, no.
Don't give me a straw.
Okay, all right. But you have a sip. I'll have a sip from the other side of the glass. There's not too. I feel like for a second there, I thought this was going to be like a terrible moment where you just keeled over. I mean,
It's strong,
yeah, it's strong.
but is it balanced?
God damn it, she's right. It is. It's well balanced. Oh, but it's like getting hit in the face. Oh my god. It's big. There's so much Navy strength in that.
Are you mad about it?
That's
though?
it's like a Navy strength martini with a bit of champagne and pineapple on the side.
So, To me, if you were ask me my top 5 cocktails, a French 75 is in there. And to me, a good French 75, you can definitely taste the champagne. You can definitely taste the gin. Like you should.
You can definitely taste the gin.
Modern day, we should talk about like being able to taste the spirit rather than masking the spirit.
Yeah,
and
I can taste the spirit.
It's delicious.
It's well put together.
It's delicious.
It's really good. I can taste the spirit though. That is for sure. Now, oh my god, you can drink that if you want. That's too much for me. Not because it's not good. It's a very well balanced drink. It's very well put together. I have to drive, so I've been very good this evening. Only sipping things, but
you can have another sip though.
I will have another sip. Don't you worry. But first, unfortunately, you said viscosity, so yeah. All right. Well, guys, that is everything we have time for this evening. Thank you for joining us this evening. It's been absolutely wonderful having all of you on this stream, engaging with us tonight. It's absolutely been fantastic. Do join us on Friday. We have Stephen from Brookies joining us, which is going to be really cool. We're going to be going through sustainability, Brookies. We're going to be looking at the Kumquat Gin. It's going to be tons of fun.
I'm potentially just going to be standing at the front of the venue, just watching what's happening.
Just clawing at the walls.
Just to see what's going on.
Yes, to answer your question, Stuart, Mabel would be very proud of that drink. It's fucking ridiculous.
It's aggressively delicious.
It's like being punched in the face by a gummy bear. Aggressively delicious. It's holy shit. But thank you so much for joining us, all of you. Please join us again on Friday at the same time at 6:30. As I said, we'll be joined by Stephen, the brand ambassador for Brookies. We'll be going through a whole range of beautiful drinks with Okar and Brookies and Brogan's Way all involved. It's going to be tons of fun. Jess, thank you so much for joining us this evening.
Exceptionally happy to be here in Melbourne at the moment. Purely for the face that I'm out of my childhood bedroom.
I love it. Thank you for being out.
I'm very happy to be here.
I love it. Cheers. Cheers to you. We need to have you on again. Holy shit. This has been a wonderful, eye-opening evening discovering florality. Yeah, I'm not going to do another shot for it.
It's a word.
It's a word. It's a word. It's Alex. Yeah, come on. So, guys, cheers. We will see you again on Friday night for episode 77. It's going to be Brookies. We will catch you then. Have a sensational evening. Cheers, guys, and good night. Ow! Oh, that's nice.
Sacred stone.
Oh, this you crazy mother...